Welcome to the Morning Skate, episode 270. We've done 270 of these. Your host, Cad, joined by my co-host, Brownie, and we have a special guest. We got our boy, Fink. He's back.
What's up, boys? So happy to be back on the pod with you guys.
Glad to get you back on the pod. I can already tell.
That smooth baritone from Fink.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. You know this kid's been working on his craft. Do you have like a new gig or something, Fink?
Man, I've been wheeling and dealing down here in Texas, doing the play-by-play for a Tier 3 junior team with the NA3, the Mid-Cities Junior Stars. It's been a rough go this season. Haven't had a chance to call a win yet, but love the locker room, love the coach, love the organization up and down, and it's just been an absolute blast and trying to get to the next level or just jump a couple steps and get, just straight to the show. Hey, if you're listening, NHL, hire your boy.
Now Fink's spending the first 30 minutes of his day just looking in a mirror, really trying to perfect that like broadcast voice, and I can appreciate that, dude.
Yeah, man.
Do you have a catchphrase?
You need a catchphrase, dude.
Shout out to some of my high school buddies. Anytime there was a fight in high school, they would call it getting bink-binked. And so these boys down here in Texas, they throw hands often. Even though they get pumped for like the next game, they have to sit out. So I dropped a couple bink-binks and a couple tillies down here and on the call.
I have one for you.
Hit me.
All right. Anytime somebody scores, Texas forever. I think if
Is that from Friday Night Lights?
Yeah, y'all watch Friday Night Lights. Texas forever.
I think you want to get your name on the Texas map, dude. You start saying Texas forever after every time. Think about the YouTube like video they could have of every time you call a goal. It's like they'd make a song after it. Probably.
Couldn't you do what's the song from Pee Wee Herman? You could go deep in the hearta and just have everybody.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they do that at Stars games, and everyone would chant it word for word.
That's hilarious.
I think Texas forever. And if you don't want to run with that, just give me one by the end of the year and send it to me. I think it would be unreal, man.
There's one kid on the team I got to give him a shout out because he doesn't get much playing time, and his name is Garrett Heavey. And anytime he comes on the ice, I always give him a heart. He thinks I'm cracking my voice on accident. I know. I always go, it's Garrett Heavey on the ice. And he's like, do you know your voice cracks? And I'm like, yeah, I do it on purpose because you get like 3 minutes of playing time a game.
I love that, dude. Call him out. I'll never forget when I used to do the Thunder like in-game thing, and that was always kind of fun because you're on the Jumbotron for like 2 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Like that. Can I get home? Yeah. Something like that. I'm sure the people really enjoyed that one. But all right, we have so much to talk about, guys. Thanksgiving's come, it's past. Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Or as they call it in Canada, Thursday.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And we are
American Thanksgiving.
We are now officially in the greatest time of the year. That is Christmas season, Hanukkah season, whatever,
Kwanzaa.
Kwanzaa, wherever you're getting gifts come late December, best time of the year.
Yep.
Put up the Christmas tree. It's A+. But guys, let's just kind of hop into it. We're just going to get her going. Sound good?
Right.
We're going to do Mia Culpa, play the music.
Hi, this is Mia Culpa, and I'm here to introduce the Morning Skates Mea Culpas with Cat and Brownie.
And Fink.
Thanks, man.
Brownie, we're buzzing tonight, dude.
Yeah. That's a mea culpa in itself.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so first off, Veterans Day is always on November 11th, regardless of the day of the week.
Okay.
That was me, not you.
Oh, you asked if it was always on a Monday.
I thought it was on Mondays, and you
that's
were like,
fine. I don't really, that is a mea culpa, but like that's, I don't think you were too far off. I understood like where you were coming from there.
I appreciate that. Too bad everyone just thinks that both of us are morons.
More than Locked Glass.
Winona Ryder, when I couldn't think of a single movie she was in, Beetlejuice and Heathers, two great flicks.
She was also in something. I was listening to Joe Rogan's podcast, and he had Theo Von on.
Wait, Joe Rogan has a podcast?
Yeah,
never heard of
it.
I
didn't know.
But there's this Theo Von guy. He's a comedian. He has a mullet.
Absolutely hilarious.
In Nashville, and I'm pretty sure they brought up Winona Ryder on the pod. Was she an actress like at a younger age, like in her like late teens, early 20s?
Yeah.
Okay, so they brought up, it must have been a zombie movie because that's what they were talking about, but she played in one of those movies. I forget what it is. Maybe we find out next week. But all right, yep.
So the Bobby Orr and Peter McNabb we were talking about, they're joined in line by line in all-time Bruins leaders in goals with Orr at 265 and McNabb at 264, which is 10th and 11th on the list. That was the thing he always talked about that I couldn't remember.
Gotcha.
The guy who got his throat cut was Chris Terreri. He was with New Jersey. He's a two-time Cup winner, played at Providence College, lost the national championship at Providence College.
Two-time Cup winner. That would have been a good trivia question. I wouldn't have gotten that.
All The Columbus Blue Jacket player with the fractured ankle and the high ankle sprain is Nick Blackenberg. He's out. Well, it was 6 to 8. By now, it's 4 to 6 because it's been so long since we did a podcast.
It's been a minute.
What?
No, it's been a minute.
Oh, I thought you said wait a minute. Brian Boucher is still doing national games on ESPN, but he covers Philly for NBC Sports Philadelphia. He's the guy who asked Torts the questions that come up later in the sheet.
Okay. What is the water boy's name?
The water boy?
Bobby Boucher.
Bobby Boucher.
Bobby Boucher. Got it.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Thank you.
That's a mea culpa avoidance in live time. The insulin company that was faked out, that was Lily. I was close. I said Lily James, who I believe is an actress. And then the follow-up is that Michigan State, Michigan fight in the tunnel. 7 MSU players are being charged in the assault. Carrie Crump was charged with felonious assault, and Jacoby Winden is being charged with assault and battery. The other 5 players being charged with just ag assault. Crump was the player using his helmet as a weapon, and Winden was the guy holding down the Michigan player that Crump was hitting.
Okay.
That sounds felonious.
Yeah. I think. Do you agree with this ruling?
That they should be charged?
Yeah.
If there was no, if no one was swinging a helmet, then I would have been fine with just a fight. Yeah. After the game, emotions high. You start grabbing weapons. I mean, that's assault, brother.
See, I would have given the kid who had the helmet and the kid who held them down. I think they're good. Charging the other 5 players.
Well, they're doing that. They do that so one of them flips and tells the whole story because they're probably all circling the wagons. You know.
All right, fair enough.
You over here, FBI agent.
I watch. Yeah, what can I tell you? A lot of Law and Order.
Dum dum.
Bum bum.
You're not going to like the first 2, but go ahead.
Okay. Because I'm not gonna. Oh, you even put the spelling in there for me. Mm-hmm. What a beauty. All right. Yeah. NHL news. Here we go. Okay. First on the docket. Rest in peace to legend Borje Salming. Did I nail that? Who passed away from ALS at age 71. The Hall of Famer played 17 seasons in the NHL, mostly with Toronto, 1 year with Detroit, had a stat line of 150 goals, 637 assists, and 787 points, 1,344 PIMs. Tough motherfucker, this guy. Played in 1,148 games played, was among the first European players to thrive in the NHL, paving the way for generations of European players. Nicknamed the King, pretty sick. Wait, so this says European. Is he Swedish, I'm assuming?
Swedish, yep.
So he's the first king.
Yeah, the first king.
The first king, okay. He still holds numerous Toronto records, including most points by Toronto defensemen, most goals by Toronto defensemen, and most assists as the first Swedish and European player to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Was also amongst the top 100 NHL players of all time. In a statement, Brendan Shanahan said, in part, Borje was a pioneer of the game and an icon with an unbreakable spirit and unquestioned toughness. Salming announced he was battling ALS back in 2020. Brutal disease. You guys saw the video that they had everybody kind of come out, and it was pretty emotional. That I think he told people he really wanted to be there, and that really wasn't that long ago. Like
that was like 2 weeks previous, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was
crazy. There was a whole lineup of things that happened, and the Maple Leafs started 6 Swedish players. And it was a whole series of events. So one of those that only happens in sports type deals.
We love those things.
I know. They're so cool. You always get goosebumps.
Yeah.
But they ended up playing their 3rd string goalie because of injuries, who was Swedish. So it wasn't like planned out like that.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. And apparently I read a thing where he never got into a fight his entire life, his entire playing career, until he got to the NHL.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. Could be legend, but
it's where the men play.
Yeah, man. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Happy he got to share that moment with Toronto before he went out. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Like, that's a pretty fucking cool moment. So rest in peace, legend, the first king. Another day, another racist hockey story. Here's another one. It's getting covered up, or at least attempted to be covered up. On 11/11/22, when Michigan State was playing Ohio State, a black player, I don't know how to say that.
Jagger? I think it's Jagger, yeah.
Joshua was called racist names, including the N-word a number of times during gameplay by an Ohio player. One of the on-ice officials heard the slur and gave the player misconduct. In the days after, Big Ten Conference conducted an investigation. There was nothing done. The Ohio player since identified as Camille Sadlotka.
I think so.
was tossed for half a game and then cricket since. Joshua took to Twitter to tell the full story 11 days after the incident. No action by either Ohio State or the Big Ten. The Big Ten Conference released a statement saying they collected and evaluated info from both teams' honest officials and video that they support the actions of the official, but will take no further action. Ohio State released a statement saying said Locha has returned home and won't be practicing with the team and apologized to Joshua on behalf of Ohio State and that the team will be completing education on racial sensitivity, diversity, and equality. No wording about a suspension for this racist pile of shit. So I'm so sick and tired of this shit, dude.
But
honestly.
It's the same shit every different day. And it sucks because this whole racial insensitivity, like classes, they don't do shit.
No.
And it's obvious because it continues to happen.
What the thing is, what Ohio State could have done, they could have come out with a strong statement and been like, hey, listen, this was wrong. And we understand it was wrong. And we apologize to Joshua, and whatever the kid's name is suspended for the rest of the season. We don't tolerate that here. They could have made a strong statement. Instead, they chose to be like, oh, he's not with the team. And they just kind of danced around it. It was very reminiscent of what Neely and Sweeney did with that Mitch Miller kid.
Yeah. I think people, I hate that it took him 11 days to come out with this. I wish he did it the first day. Well, I don't know the reasoning, whether he was hoping something was going to happen.
He was waiting for them. He didn't want to.
I think at this point, fuck that.
Yeah, I can see your point. Yeah.
Like fucking, because clearly these organizations don't give a shit, dude. If they can get away with it, they won't. They don't care. Like, we got to stop giving, benefit of the doubt almost that somebody's going to do the right thing. It's clearly not fucking happening.
Yeah.
Right? Like, fucking throw them under the bus immediately.
Yeah. No. It's a shame. It's another scar on the sport, and just for everybody else, be better.
Yeah.
Be better. Fuck. And you know what sucks, man, is when we first started doing the podcast, it seemed like this shit didn't really happen. And I don't know if it wasn't happening and being reported or whatever, but now it seems like every fucking
it's podcast. Just I think it's being more reported more, and people are tolerating less. Hopefully,
it's insane.
It's both. Yeah, for sure.
Just cut the fucking shit. Like, stop being a dickhead.
Yeah. Hey, you know how we can refresh this right now before we go on to the Winnipeg stuff? We're coming to the end of November. So for those out there listening, you got a few more days left to get your donations in, because every little bit helps. The link is on all our socials. We are just under $2,000, I believe we've raised. We had a big spurt today.
Shout out. That was my nickname in high school.
Big spurt on the left wing. So yeah, please donate to Movember.
That away, Brownie. All right, we're gonna start with Winnipeg. Nikolai Ehlers to undergo surgery for sports hernia. No timetable for return at this point. Jets have won 5 of their last 6, and Connor Hellebuck is 8-3-0-1 on the year. .935 save percentage, 2 shutouts. Is that good?
Makes me sick.
That's also probably like a week old. So,
well,
still,
Jets are still doing well. Hellebuck's still well ahead of everybody else, in my opinion, in the Vezina Trophy standings. I mean, it's still very early in the season, but I think he's kept them in a lot of games. Hate Rick Bowness with a passion, and his defense is garbage.
That's right.
So obviously the Jets came through and caused some havoc in Dallas. But yeah, Jets are putting together a hell of a season. That Central Division, I mean, I'm a Stars fan, no secret. That Central Division with Stars in it, in the mix with the Avs and Jets, it's a brutal division.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
I will say, though, I don't remember who it was, but someone predicted a Hellebuck may return to Vezina form in the preseason.
Probably was it me?
No, it was me. But go ahead.
That's a mea culpa.
So Brownie, I mean, he wants to talk about Winnipeg in an overtime win versus Dallas. Jamie Brennan drove the net hard and in the play. Hellebuck's helmet got knocked off, was face down on the ice. The puck ended up on Robertson's stick, and he put in the game-tying goal. I mean, just things seem to really bounce for your two teams with the Stars and the Bruins. It seems like it always goes the Bruins' way. It always goes the Stars' way. Shout out Brett Hull.
It's about time.
Some organizations are just blessed in that way. But
well, the Stars ended up losing an OT that game.
They got a point. The Rangers lost. The Rangers lost to the Ducks, dude. They got a point.
So. Do you think, though, when a goalie's helmet comes off, it should be dead?
Yeah, dude.
Right? I don't understand why it's not.
The only issue is if you have a goalie, because I don't see it in the NHL a lot, but I see it in beer league a lot. I saw it when I was playing college a lot, where goalies would kind of get hit up high and they would
shake their helmet
immediately. And
one of the ways to remedy that is to make goalies wear a chin strap.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to pass that.
But then the other point was if you have in the NHL, I'm talking, if you have 3 or 4 goalies out of 64 that shake their helmets off, is that worth it? If you say, I mean, you could get killed.
Yeah,
I'll put it like this: if the NHL can invoke the rule of players that are entering the league after this season no longer are allowed to not wear helmets in warmups.
Oh, that's coming up in the document.
I'm sorry to jump ahead.
No, it's fine.
If they can invoke that, then they can absolutely invoke a rule that continues to protect the goalies. If I'm a goalie and they tell me that, and I don't want to do it, I'm sorry, but we're the NHL. We're trying to protect you guys at any way, shape, and form. You can't roll your sleeves up anymore. And look what happened to Evander Kane. It's still going to happen.
Yeah.
You might as well as the NHL put something in place to protect goalies.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a rule. I don't know if you guys know this. If you get your wrists taped, I don't think you're allowed to get in a fight. I remember a few years ago when JT Miller was on the Rangers, he got in a fight and he had his wrist taped and he got kicked out of the game for it. Did you guys know anything about that?
I do remember now that you say that. I've heard that.
So rules. Lastly, one last Winnipeg thing. Saturday night's game versus Pittsburgh. The Jets had Hulsley. The Ukrainian male chorus performed the national anthems as they continue to show support for Ukraine. All righty. Chicago. Jonathan Taves got his 500th apple in a loss to the Stars yesterday. The other day.
Last week, probably.
Oh, can we talk about? Can we dive into that for a second? What a massive game that was here in Dallas. Just girth of comeback, unreal, unmitigated gall. Sorry, that's all.
All right. Well, 500 apples. This puts the Captain Series 8th on the Blackhawks all-time list, 18 behind Steve Larmer. Pretty good company.
Speaking of the Blackhawks,
Devils, dude.
Hold on, before you get to the Devils. Speaking of this is going to piss you off more possibly. Have you seen the buzz about the Patrick Kane to the Bruins?
No, my God.
That's picking up steam.
It is picking up steam because he picks where he goes.
Who are you trading for him?
They were saying that the money works if Chicago retains half, and then they get rid of Craig Smith and Brandon Carlo back.
Are they going to give up anybody good?
What I heard, that was it, and maybe a draft pick.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Pigs are flying. New Jersey Devils. I fucking hate this team.
Wagon.
Yeah, their fans hated Lindy Ruff like maybe a couple weeks ago. Now they love him. They were chanting "Sorry, Lindy" during a recent game. He heard that and he said after the game he accepts the apology. Maybe one day they can all sit down and have a beer and laugh about it.
It's great. Great quote.
I forget. I think it was on Chicklets. Bissonnette was talking about Lindy Ruff. There was like a story about how like he went outside with him or whatever, and he was just like hacking a cigarette. And he's like, "Hey, do you want to come on a podcast?" And he took a big breath in, blew it out, looked at him, and goes, "What the fuck's a podcast?" And this was like last summer.
Oh my God.
He just like that. I never liked Lindy Ruff until I heard that story. I'm like, that guy's kind of
good coach. He's a good coach.
He's definitely tuning into AM radio when he's in the car. That's for sure.
He had to order it special when he got his new ride.
Yeah.
So I mean, they just keep winning games. They ended up losing to Toronto 2-1, but not just one, but not two, but all 3 New Jersey Devils goals were disallowed. The fans were none too happy, littered the ice with garbage as Toronto scurried into the locker room. Booth's statement.
Hold on. I have a statement from Boother.
Oh boy. Here we go.
So the first one I kind of get. Bastion's skate hit Murray's skate, barely, but it did. That happened in the crease, so the no goal call makes sense. The second one, Murray gets in Tatar's way outside of the crease and gets knocked over. No idea why this was called no goal. Murray got out of his net and interfered with Tatar. What's Tatar supposed to do there? The third one was absolutely atrocious. The puck was kicked across the crease and deflected off a leaf into the net. The puck was not kicked into the goal. It was kicked across the crease and deflected off a leaf into their own net. I have no clue why that didn't stand other than corruption in favor of the Leafs.
Yeah.
Luther. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, there was a play a couple weeks ago, or maybe it was like last week, Zibanejad. It might have been against the Ducks. He was going around the net, and a goalie came out like pretty far, and Zibanejad ran into him, and then they all jumped Zibanejad. He got a goalie interference penalty. I didn't see this play, but what it sounds like pretty similar to that.
Well, the one he's talking about with the kick, Eric Halla tried to kick the puck to his blade.
No, I'm talking about the one where he said Murray got hit.
Oh, sorry.
So,
Murray has been watching the World Cup already, from what I heard.
Yeah,
a little bit of a brook.
So my thing about this, and I know we don't like reviewable shit, I would get rid of offsides if I could. I hate that because there's times that the puck's in the zone for fucking a minute and a half and they score and it's like no goal. I hate that shit.
Yeah.
But what I am going to go back and look.
Yeah,
plays like this.
Yeah, review.
I think plays like this are huge, dude, because I mean goalies are just going to start doing this. I would. You get blown up and you get a power play and the goal doesn't start or count.
Yeah,
I mean. Sounds like
you got a team that's on a 13-game heater, and your disappointment to your fan base for how long getting bumped in the first, and this is there's huge implications to this game, even if it's early in the season.
Yeah, I don't know, something to think about. This was a crazy questions. Jack Hughes was asked, "What can the Devils do to gain a little bit more consistency through full 60 minutes?" His response. I mean, we're on a 9-game heater. I'd say we're doing okay. Like
fucking great. That made me like Jack Hughes infinitely more than I did prior.
Yeah. Guy absolutely despises media, hates doing it.
I mean, that's a dumb question.
He's young, right? What's he like, 20?
Yeah, he's 20, 21, somewhere around.
I also think athletes should be able to get like 3 "that's a dumb" questions a year, where they can kind of go back and be like, "That's a dumb question." You immediately move on.
The Bryce Harper response, clown question, bro.
Clown question.
Make the reporter run a lap.
Yeah.
Marty Brodeur, he was named executive VP of hockey ops. His multi-year contract will allow him to focus solely on the hockey operations side in New Jersey. His duties will include personnel decisions, player recruitment, scouting, and overseeing the team's goaltending development department. Pretty fucking cool. I'd be happy if I was a Devil fan. I would be like, okay, because he's been involved with like the Blues and shit too. So like he kind of knows what's going on. It's not like you're just sticking a legend.
Right.
In, you know what I mean? And then, so they beat the Rangers and they tied their franchise record for most consecutive road wins at 10 straight. Rangers are just a terrible, terrible hockey team. Everything right now is going so good in my life that the Rangers decided to be like, hey, fuck you, Ked.
Hey, man, come back down to earth.
Seriously. Like, not everything. I don't know. Buffalo claimed Tyson Yost off of waivers from Minnesota. This clears Minnesota from a $2 million cap hit. Buffalo sent Anders Bjork to the Rochester Americans. Remember, this kid was a Bruin. There was a lot of hype about him. I guess he just
Notre Dame, I think.
And then interesting Craig Anderson interview on 32 Thoughts with his mindset. I'm sure you probably have a little bit more to that. Brownie.
Yeah, it was just listen. I'm not a Craig Anderson guy. I mean, I wasn't indifferent, I guess, to him. He's a decent goalie, but what an interview and just what a mindset he has. It was it made me think of the Bo Bennett thing that we did. Like he didn't know going in what we were going to get. He looks at it as they were talking about Carlson, and he was like, well, yeah, he has 6 positive plays a night, right? And then he has 3 negative plays. So it's a +3, even if it's not scores, scoring chances, good plays, whatever it is. So instead of focusing on the negative things he did, which was what happened to Carlson prior in the year before, because he wasn't getting the positive plays, he goes, you just got to focus on the positive stuff. So if you have a good shift, that's what you build upon. And don't worry about you got beat, worry about the next shit. And it's just a refreshing way to look at it. It's very glass half full type.
So he's a good interview. And as you said that, I just wanted to bring up, shout out to Carl Alsner. I thought,
oh yeah, that was a great interview. Shout out to Disco.
Yeah. Like that guy, you could just tell he actually wanted to be there. You know what I mean? Like he was involved. So,
and that is fantasy talk I will allow because the guest initiated it. And it was,
Shout out to Disco too, man. He's a beautiful little flower blossoming down there. Nervous to do interviews a couple months back. Look at him like conducting his own train now.
Yeah. He's doing good. He's producing content. Dallas Stars, Fink. Here we go. Buckle up.
Boy, howdy.
Thinking that Taves got his apple. Ryan, I always get this fucked up. It's Suter, right?
Yeah.
Suter, yeah.
And the head coach for Calgary, Sutter.
Yes.
Yep.
Got it. Suter played in his 1300th NHL game. He's now the second active NHL player to break 1300 threshold, as Eric Stahl achieved that feat earlier this season. Ovechkin's only 5 games away.
Less than that now, yeah.
So, I mean, this guy, he was a stud, huh? That was back when you kind of looked at the Nashville Predators, and they had a wagon on their fucking defense core. Like, Shea Weber, this guy. Ryan Ellis, I'm pretty sure, was on the team back
Yep.
then. I mean, that's 3 very good top 6 defensemen. So,
Carrie Underwood was wheeling around the rink because her husband was playing.
Looking great, looking fantastic, just
Mm-hmm.
loving hockey. But yep, so that's what we got. How's he been for Dallas?
Can't stand him. Absolutely hate the guy. Legitimately, he's one of the least favorite people in this fan base. His 35 plus, no move clause.
Oh, right.
Jim Neal, who is in my opinion definitely in the running for GM of the year, just with the things that he's been able to pull off, which we'll get to Rupe here in a little bit. But Robertson, Ottinger, keeping these guys around when you have Ben and Sagan taking up 24% of your entire cap and putting that trust in the team. And then he goes and signs Ryan Suter, who just got bought out because he couldn't hack it in Minnesota where the Stars used to live. And this guy's at times when the Dallas Stars are firing on all levels and buzzing to here and beyond, the only guy on the stat sheet, which we were just talking about plus minus, on the negative side of the plus minus on the entire team at one point this season. When you got a guy in Colin Miller who was brought here for I think 1.5
I love
on
Colin
one.
Miller.
Love that guy. Skates his absolute ass off.
Got
every single
cannon of a shot, and he's
cannon
tough.
of a shot. I think that's the only time he scored, or it was a deflection off his slap shot. But you got him who's here for I think 1.5, like I said, and Suter who's here for quite a bit more. And Suter's just, I mean, Suter is just riding the coattails of this team right now. I don't like the way that I've heard about him in the past. I heard he made a ruckus in Nashville because he wasn't on the first power play and he was a locker room cancer. He went to Minnesota, crickets, and now he's in Dallas. I just, the guy doesn't do anything for me. He doesn't move the needle. You know who does move the needle for me? Who's that? That Nils kid from New York that we got in trade?
There, bud.
But anyway, that's I don't know if the entire Stars fan base agrees with me on that one. I know quite a few do that I see on my Twitter thread on most game threads. Him and Hockenpah have been having a really rough go of it. Hockenpah is just a huge body, but
was he second pair or third pair?
Suter or Hockenpah?
Suter.
Suter's been playing, I believe, second power play unit, and I believe he's like third.
Oh, okay. So he's
Second
like
or
the
third.
5'6" defenseman.
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, I think he gets shifted up top here and there, but he does get a lot of ice time. I'll give Suter that. Miro went off with an injury earlier this season, and Suter picked up quite a few minutes, but he just doesn't move the needle for me. And in my opinion, he's the one person on this team right now that we could literally take away and replace him with somebody else that was even 5 years younger than him, and this team would continue to fly.
Yeah. He sounds like the American version of Mark Stahl.
Yeah.
So we got that. Jamie Benn. I mean, he's been crushing it. 13 games.
Renaissance, baby.
You like that? Yeah.
11-1. Ben has been lights out, posting line of 10, 11, 21, and 13 games played.
Who's he? They moved him, right? Didn't he get moved?
Yeah, he's on the second line now, I believe, with Wyatt Johnston. The lines are shifting, but I know he's played some time with Wyatt Johnston. He's come back to life. The only other guy that has more points than him, as of yesterday in the NHL, in the month of November, Jason Robertson. This team is just buzzing.
Fair enough. We've always loved the way Jamie Benn's played. Guy backing up. That thing with Zach Hyman was hilarious.
Yeah. Oh God. I will say though, we saw something that we don't see every day. He got absolutely rocked.
Torch, dude.
Yeah.
Rocked.
Who was that? That was McNabb?
From Colorado when Colorado was in town, I think.
Yeah.
Oh my God. He took that on the chin and he buckled.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Jamie Benn buckle like that since he was in his younger days, just throwing him with everybody.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he definitely got caught. And then let's talk about Rope Hintz, dude. 8 years, $67.6 million. How are they doing this, dude, with their cap?
I don't know.
So I have a piece of paper upstairs that I wrote it down, and I forgot to bring it downstairs with me. Is it Nil or Nils, the GM?
Nil.
Nil has Hintz, who's like, there's 4 players that are under, I think, 25 that are signed for, I think, 5 to 8 years. It's Hintz, Robertson,
Heiskanen,
and Ottinger, right? Those are the 4. And I mean, what a nucleus to have through. I think one of them 8 years, so 2020, that's 30. I think the shortest contract is Ottinger's, which is like another 4 years at $4 million per.
I think both him and Robertson signed a 4, which I think they planned it out perfectly because Ben and Sagan will be off the books.
Right.
The cap is going to be increasing upwards of $100 million by the time their contracts are up. And I saw comments all over. By the time that Rupe's contract is winding down, that 8.45 annual is going to be peanuts compared to the the 12s and the 13s that a lot of those top guys are going to be getting. Nil is just an ultimate masterclass. We like to give him a hard time because he always says, I like where this team is at. I can't believe I say it. I completely agree. I love where this team is at.
No, that's great.
Must be nice, dude.
Yeah, I mean, and then that Lundqvist kid, 2 years left on his rookie contract. We're paying under $1 million for his solid defensive work down here.
Yeah, I mean, he scored a sick goal. Is he playing well defensively?
He's doing well defensively. He's not really a liability. I think he bodes well. Having a guy like Heiskanen, they're playing on the first line. He's played some time with Heiskanen here and there, but he's just, you can tell the fact that we don't notice him means he's playing well. He's not
PK minutes.
He's getting PK minutes, and he's loving it. He's smiling.
In my opinion.
I think he hugs people all the time down here. He probably loves the barbecue. You know, Lundqvist is just living the dream.
Yeah, just a crybaby. New York, speaking of crybaby, I'm a crybaby. The New York Rangers traded Ryan Reeves to Minnesota for a 5th-round pick in 2025. He had a cap hit of 1.75, prorated for the rest of the season, UFA at the end of the season. So they did this because, one, he asked for a trade. He had been in the lineup.
Well, he sat like 8 out of 9, right?
Yeah.
And if they got rid of him, how it works leading up to the trade deadline is going to save them a ton of cap where they could go out and get like a top 6 forward, hopefully, fingers crossed. I saw a quote from Billy Guerin being like, we know the guy that we got. This guy's going to bring energy. He's going to get a swagger back to our team. That's why we're bringing him in. I was talking to Rex today. He's on the line with Foligno and Eriksson Ek.
Yeah.
Can you imagine having to go on the ice with those 3 out there? Like that sucks.
Yeah.
And then
the defenseman looking up like, oh fuck, man.
God damn it. Like, boys, no scrums after the whistle.
Yeah.
Like,
don't throw it in my corner, please. No hard wraps.
So my thing about this is I understand why the Rangers do this, but like, because Ryan Reeves, he's more of a presence. Like, I don't think he's a good hockey player anymore. There'd be so many times he get the puck on the fucking wall. And like, dude, your job's to like bang people and make sure you don't get scored on. And it happened last year in the playoffs against the Lightning. Their 4th line matched up against our 4th line and dominated. Where there were a couple different plays where Reeves could get the puck out of the zone, he didn't. You can see that his plays.
The Lightning's 4th line's a different story than most.
But my thing is like the New York Rangers are constructed around Mika Zibanejad and Chris Kreider hugging all the time, and the fan base loving it. I cannot fucking stand this. Jacob Trouba, who's been told he's been hurt the whole year, but he just keeps playing, and he's having one of the worst years of his career.
See the video I sent to you?
It's insane.
The Draisaitl thing?
Yeah. Draisaitl.
What the fuck was that?
I would have fucking picked up my stick and cracked him as hard as I could.
Do you remember when Sean Avery hit Tim Thomas in the back of the head?
And he just stands there. Like, you're a fucking captain, dude.
You're the captain of the New York Rangers.
Insane. So, but
you saw that video I'm referring to? Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
So the Rangers, what they want to do is they want to have cap space to get a top 6 forward. I get that. They're not playing well. They're losing a ton of games. They're blowing a ton of leads. Revo is a huge, like, he has a great voice in that locker room. Like, you can't have your kids, and this is honestly why I think players like Lafreniere, Capo, and Hedl have taken so long to like really do anything. Is I feel like with teams like look at Boston, you have Bergeron and Marchand. So Pasternak comes up and he's playing with these super talented guys who have a little bit of an edge to them, who have like pretty good, like, this is what's expected from you, right? Even in LA, they have Kopitar. So like Alex Iafallo comes up. This is kind of what's expected from you. You guys can have some fun, but play the game. These Rangers young forwards are coming up and they're seeing Chris Kreider and Mika Zibanejad make out every time that somebody scores a goal. Mika fucking coasts the entire time, and Chris Kreider thinks he's like the fucking Chris Kreider right now, because he scored 50 goals last year, thinks he's too cool to do the shit that makes him good. And that is the biggest thing. So you have those two that these young guys are supposed to look up to, and Artemi Panarin, who's a great player, totally get it, super talented, but like he doesn't give off the vibe that he's like a vocal leader. He's not a guy who's going to be like, hey, let's have some fun. This is what's expected from you. Now you get rid of the guy with the only set of balls on your fucking team. What is that going to solve? It's insane to me. Then you have Matt Carpenter running around, who's, I mean, I don't even know if Ryan Carpenter.
Ryan.
Yeah.
See, I'm one of the biggest Rangers fans I know. I don't even know this guy's fucking name. Like, that's where we're at right now, and it's brutal. I'm gonna miss.
You see how he just hijacked that whole Minnesota thing to the Rangers?
Well, I think this was more. This is talking Rangers. I'm not going to talk Rangers when we get to the Rangers.
You're not?
They suck. No, they suck.
All right. Well, while we're talking about Rangers, then I will say this was a good thing I pulled out of the New Jersey game because I watched that game.
Yeah.
At the end, it was their third loss in a row. Did you notice? This to me is leadership. Panarin, while the Devils were celebrating on MSG ice, he sat on the bench and watched.
Yeah.
Do you notice that?
Yeah.
That to me, that kind of thing. That's something that a Taves or a Bergeron or a Crosby is going to do. That's the kind of stuff that makes Panarin more of a leader in my mind.
Yeah, but we have Mika Zibanejad and Chris Kreider, who those are our leaders on the forward end. Like Panarin is a leader. There's a language barrier there. Like you know what I mean?
If he's a quiet guy who doesn't say a lot, if he comes into the locker room after a period the next game when they're down and snaps a few sticks, and even if it's broken English and he's not getting his point across and he shows that emotion and that he's angry, that will have more weight than anything that Revo could have done.
I think you and I are talking about different things. You're talking about getting the Rangers back on track. I'm talking about making sure any forwards that we have from now on don't turn into giant pussies and take 5 years to develop.
That's fair. That's fair.
You know what I mean?
So let me ask you this, Ked, because if we're on the topic of the Rangers, I know it's a little early to press the eject button, so to speak, but what if this continues all season? Are they in the position to sell and sell the farm and try and bring people in?
I don't.
They're not going to sell.
They're not going to sell. So this is. I'm going to pull this up really quick. I'm going to pull up the New York Rangers next couple games because I looked at it earlier and I have a hot take. I have a very hot take.
Oh,
so they play the Senators in Ottawa tomorrow at 7:00. They're not going to win that game.
Never easy.
They're not going to win that game. I'm going to put $20 on the Senators. There's no way. Then they play the Senators at home Friday on the 7th. Winnable game. Both of these are winnable games, by the way.
So there'd be nice carryover. It could get nasty at Madison.
They should be able to fucking beat the Senators on Senators ice. But right now, the way they're playing, they're probably not. Then they go home. Depending on how bad they got beat the night before, we'll see what happens. Then they got the Blackhawks back-to-back at home the next day at 7:30. If they drop the next 3, I think Gallant's out, which is a fucking hot take. But you have to do something. Yeah. You can't reconstruct this fucking thing. I mean, if they lose the Senators twice and then lose to the Blackhawks, who shouldn't, these 3 games should be easy victories for a team that's supposed to be a Stanley Cup contender, right? And if you don't do something now, why would you wait? You can't wait now. They're not playing good hockey. These lines are
been in net for all these losses.
A majority of them, and that's another thing. Yaroslav Halak is awful.
Is he not? I was going to ask if he wasn't playing.
He's playing. I would rather have Georgiev. That's how bad he's playing. Very and my thing for backup goalies, they don't have to win you games, but they can't lose you games. That's a good backup goalie, right? I'm not expecting my backup to steal something, but I'm expecting my backup to stop 27 of 30 or 31 shots, keep us in the game where we can win. Halak has been atrocious.
Oh, it's funny. Halak gets hot, but he's also significantly older than when he was here. So
atrocious. So, and you want to know what? We're not going to do a Ranger segment because, quite frankly, they haven't fucking earned one. So that's where we're at.
Got to earn it, boys. You heard it here.
They have to earn it, man. It's fucking insane. They were up 3-0 against the Oilers, and then the Oilers came back and just in the third period, done. Then they're up on the Devils by 2 goals. Lafreniere takes a stupid penalty where he tries to rip somebody's helmet off, and the Devils score on that. What the fuck is going on?
Interesting.
Kreider and Mika making out too much. I'm so sick of that fucking thing, dude. And I hope if they do fire Gallant, whoever coach comes in, they fucking split those 2 motherfuckers up. And if they complain about it, see you the fuck later, dude.
They fire Gallant, it's going to be a complete polar opposite personality.
Barry Trotz, original 6.
Oh, but he's a player's coach like Gallant.
Barry Trotz.
Drury might. It could be Babcock too.
Oh God.
Can you fucking imagine? No, wait, Babcock. The PR, they would be so tone deaf to do something like that with how the
Oh,
Mitch
you mean
Marner
James
and,
Dolan would be tone deaf?
I think you would. Yeah, dude. Now you're just lashing out because your Bruins don't know what tone deaf means.
I mean, Jim Montgomery did lose his job for some unsavory activities down in Dallas, and he got
second chance, got his life together.
Yeah, but dude, boozing is different than fucking bullying somebody in 20.
We'll say it was just boozing.
Fair enough. That's what I got. The Rangers, they need to fucking start showing me something. That's it. Oh, shout out to Julian Gauthier. He's actually putting the puck in the net. That's that kid that, remember I think I told you about him, Brownie. He's the guy that if you didn't watch the Rangers play a full season, you only saw one game of the Rangers, Gauthier is going to drive the net wide.
I said that to you.
Go right to the net, and you're going to be like, holy shit, this kid's a player.
What was the game that we were texting?
I
was watching it too.
Yep, and you said the same thing. You're like,
who is this guy? I've never heard of him.
But now he's starting to score, and like I think growing up he was a goal scorer, so he put so much pressure on himself, and I think he's become like like our fourth line hasn't been awful. I just hate Carpenter, but it's Sammy Blais, Carpenter, and who the fuck was I just talking about? Sammy Blais, Carpenter.
What, I don't know how you say his name, Galchenko or something.
What?
I don't know. How do you just talked about him?
I know, dude. Whatever. I lost my train of thought.
You're buzzing. You're flying right now.
We're gonna move on. That's a man.
His brain is going too fast for his mouth.
Yeah.
It's just they're just pissing me off, bro. Let's just go. University of Michigan. Due to an illness running through the team, freshman Tyler Shea. He had to suit up a fourth line last week. Last week, he's listed on the roster at 32, but he had to wear 91 as a regular jersey. Is a goalie cut and too big for a skater. Shea served a bench minor as his only time on ice for the game.
His only time on ice was him sprinting back to the bench from the penalty box. Shout out to this kid.
Like, I would have gave him a fucking shift, dude.
Oh, I would have too, but
yeah.
You know.
Unless he's like, no, coach, don't fucking do that.
Yeah, he might have. Who knows?
But I mean, and that would be very fair. I mean, if you're not a D1 caliber player and then you're up against Division I players, like you don't want to get bundled, like you don't want to get hurt. So
that's fair.
Connor McDavid, Wayne Gretzky stats: top 3 most points through the first 500 games active players. Ovechkin 633, Crosby 706, McDavid's at 722. All time, Gretzky is 1186, Lemieux 971. Yeah, that's wild. Stastny 759, Bossy 757, and Curry was 730. It's fucking nuts. Now
500 games played, Gretzky had 1186.
Curry is very fortunate to have played with Gretzky, right? Like if Curry wasn't on Gretzky's team, he wouldn't have those points.
Well, he also had Messier too.
True.
And Paul Coffey lugging the puck up with the outlet passes too. So I mean, they were deep. I think Yari Curry's a Hall of Famer, right?
Yep.
But I don't know if he would have been as prolific.
Yeah. I mean, finish, correct?
Maybe. Sounds right.
Okay. I was talking about
on the show.
I was talking about Gauthier, by the way, before.
Oh, there it is.
There he is. He's back.
There you go.
So Gauthier, just kidding, guys. So more McDavid in the new wild world of Twitter. A McDavid account that was verified tweeted the following: I've officially been traded to the Islanders, but I will always be thankful for my time in Edmonton and the support I've gotten throughout the years. It's on to better and greater things in Long Island now.
It was hilarious. People were losing their minds.
That's pretty fucking funny.
I actually texted Kenton. I'm like, hey, did you see this?
Oh, my God. That's great.
This is going to be fucking insane for trade deadline and free agent frenzy, having these new Twitter things, dude.
Should we make a Bobby Margarita one?
Dude, I think that guy might be my number one white whale for podcasting interviews. I think it'd be so cool to cut the shit with Bob McKenzie.
Yeah, I agree. That would be kind of cool. He's not my number one, but sure.
I mean, dude,
he's in there. He's up there.
I love him because like he's big on Twitter, at least he used to be, and then all of a sudden he'll just show up on those days. And the best is like he is really the only one that knows what the Rangers are gonna do. Because I remember when they drafted Vitaly Kravtsov, everybody was talking about how they were gonna pick, I think it was Oliver Wahlstrom. And they're like, yeah, this is what's gonna happen. And as our GM's walking up the stairs, Bobby Marks goes, yeah, I think they might go off the board here and draft that Russian Kravtsov. And he goes, the New York Rangers have selected Kravtsov. And everybody's like, what the fuck's going on?
He just like walks out with 2 margaritas in his hand, shimmying around.
Boston, dude. There have been 27 players in NHL history with at least 250 goals, 250 assists, and a plus minus of 250. Only 2 are still active: Patrice Bergeron and Brad Marchand. Bergie, 408 goals, 589 assists, and a plus 264. Marshy, 356 goals, 450 assists, plus 266. The next closest active players are Sidney Crosby. He has 524 goals, 902 assists. He's a plus 197. Jonathan Taves, 364, 498 for a plus 179. And Joe Pavelski, 430, 513 for a plus 139.
I remember that's a sick one.
I remember a few years ago, I think it was February. I think it was sometime in February. And I'm pretty sure this is back when Hal was doing this. And Bergeron and Marchand were on the ice for a goal, and that was the first goal that they had been on the ice for the whole fucking year. And it was February. And I was like, holy shit, dude. Yeah. That's fucking insane.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not shocked at all by this. Because, I mean, this just shows you, like, yeah, man, they're very good offensively. Marchand can buzz. Patrice Bergeron, I mean, they always have points, right? But, and as you guys know, Bergeron, one of the best defensive forwards probably to ever play the game, right? And this just shows you same kind of thing with Marchand. Like, he's penalty killing. We're on the ice together at all times. That's insane, dude.
Yeah, it's just a crazy stat I saw. Yeah.
So, you've also announced that they hired former USAG Loretta Lynch to conduct an independent review of their player vetting process after the Mill fiasco. The team has said it will cooperate fully and release the results of the query. Dude.
I'll say it. This is just PR bullshit. Why
the fuck did they even have to do this, man? The story was crushed.
They're doing this to placate the stockholders in Delaware North, which is the owner's holding company.
Yeah, I don't think anybody cares about this, dude.
The stockholders, shareholders do, I'm sure.
I don't know, man. It kind of seemed like everything died down, and then the Bruins were like, oh, hey, I know it died down and people aren't talking about this anymore, but here's a story to get you guys going.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, dude, what the fuck? Great Bobby Orr story. Orr came in as an 18-year-old, and his dad came to training camp and approached Eddie Johnston and said, I'd like Bobby to stay with you. Johnston asked, are you sure you've got the right guy? Because back then his nickname was Downtown, as he used to frequent the bars around the city. Orr's father replied, yeah, they told me that you were the guy that he should stay with. So Orr moved in and would drive Johnson downtown. And when Johnson go into the bars, Orr would go to the movies or something, and then come back to pick Johnson around 11:30 midnight. After a few weeks of this, Johnson bought Orr a chauffeur's hat. He would come out of the bar and hop in the backseat, and Orr would drive them home. He stayed with him for a few years, but according to him, who promised Orr's father, Orr never drank until he was 21, and Johnson made sure of that. One of the greatest talents to ever play in the NHL, driving his goalie around Boston. Pretty fucking cool, dude.
Just a great story about
pretty funny. Days. Pretty fucking funny.
Yeah. We don't hear a lot of stories about Bobby Orr.
No, I know somebody who's, I think their brother lives in the same like neighborhood as him, and they say that he's just the nicest guy. Like they go down to the pool, and like there was a time that some kids were like splashing him, and the dad like ran over, was like, "Do not do that," and he's like apologized to Mr. Orr, and he's like, "What are you talking about, man? They're kids." And then he splashed the kids back. Like he just seems like a cool guy. He gets it. You know what I mean?
Yep. Brownie, I'm sending you his number after this podcast. I told you guys about that. Guys just pulling out all these phone numbers.
I love it. Calgary, Blake Holm was fined $5,000 for a sloofa on Pierre-Luc Dubois.
Did you see this?
I didn't see it. Was it bad?
Yeah. It wasn't like, I mean, I've seen worse ones, but it was just a dumb play. And I like Blake Coleman now that he's not in Tampa. But that was just a dumb play.
Barclay Goodrow's been good for the Rangers, but if the Rangers could have went back and like made a decision between Coleman and Goodrow, I would 1,000% have picked Coleman. Because I think their contracts are like pretty similar.
Yeah, they're pretty similar. Yeah. Hey, speaking of Calgary, before we move on, there was a nice standing ovation for Matthew Tkachuk when they went back. I think it was tonight.
Oh, there was. I was curious about that.
Has Johnny Hockey been back yet?
As what?
Has Johnny Hockey been back yet?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Something tells me he's not going to get as warm of a reception.
No. Number one, I think Tkachuk was more popular. Number two, Tkachuk was the one who was like, listen, I'm not signing here. Let's do something so it doesn't torpedo the team. Yeah. So it's a different exit, you know?
Yeah.
This is the thing, Fink, right here.
Yeah, per a new rule, if a player enters the league during 2019-2020 season or later, they're mandated to wear helmets during warmups. Players who entered the league prior to that are grandfathered in are not required to wear buckets. Do you remember Taylor Hall? He got his face cut when he stepped on the puck. Sidney Cordy Potter.
That was the case they mentioned in the announcement.
Dude, I'd be fucking pissed about this, man.
100%.
I would.
They want to market themselves.
That's the thing. That's exactly what I was going to say. The NHL is now, in all popularity's sake, slowly going under Major League Soccer here in the U.S. or in North America. Like, it's getting to that point where Major League Soccer, where old people go to retire and die career-wise, is now more popular than the NHL in some
Didn't
facets.
they just sign like that Ronaldo guy?
Messi's going to be going down to Miami, I believe it is.
In the MLS?
In the MLS. And that's only going to further...
Messi,
yeah.
Holy
After this season's all wrapped up, there's already been talks that they're pushing him, and he's okay with it. They're going to give him bukus of money. But what bothers me the most is that the NHL, and I love to call him the hobbit that be, Gary Bettman, swinging his little legs off his office chair because he can't reach the floor. They will do anything in their power to buckle their people from having personalities.
Yeah.
All of them.
It's fair.
You got these hockey players, guys like, obviously hometown kid Dallas, Jamie Benn, Joe Pavelski, Tyler Seguin, which I get they're grandfathered in, but they literally do their hair for warm-ups and they get off the ice and wash it and go back out and play. They go out there, they want to look sharp, and they just watch. I mean, you've got the face of the league is Connor McDavid, who might be one of the most boring human beings of all time. That's the guy that's carrying your torch. That's the guy. And you want to like take more personality away from the players. It makes no sense. The coming into the arenas with the strict suit policy, even though guys like Marchand and the Night King, I call him, in Columbus, Line, because he looks just like the Night King from Game of Thrones. The guy is an absolute nightmare-looking human being. But these guys come in their loud suits. But then you got the NBA, the Major League Baseball. Like, let these guys be themselves. Like, I get that hockey is a very grandfathered sport, but rules like this where you can't – I get the safety precaution of it, but so do these guys. These guys have been playing their entire life. You think they don't know that every time they step onto the ice without a bucket, something could go wrong? Of course they know that. They don't care. They're taking it into their own hands. Like,
see, I'm more of a – I like the suit thing. I like the professional thing, but I think is not what everybody thinks, dude. Right. Like, times are changing.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm the old man yelling at a cloud because I used to like respect the fact that like hockey was like fucking man sport. Like, you know what I mean? Like professionals, fucking fighting,
absolutely
cruising. Like I liked that league. That's not the league anymore. It isn't.
No. What did Tortorella say? He said it's a young, dumb league or something like that. He said the other day.
It's different. And dude, and I don't know if that makes me an idiot, but like I appreciated those older dudes who were fucking absolute nail guns.
Absolutely.
But that's not the sport anymore. Like,
no,
it's just not. And you can't continue to be, because like there's far more people that want to see what Fink just talked about than what I talked about. And dude, Messi going to MLS, that's going to blow that up big time.
Yeah.
Even more. Yeah, absolutely. So
it's fucking stupid. Plus, like the flow skate, dude. That's why you play in the NHL.
Exactly.
Like, what are you talking about? You train all those hours so you can get on warm up ice and take your fucking helmet off and then just start winking at people. Like, that is what it's for. Idiots. More NHL. 43 years ago this week, 1979, 51-year-old Gordie Howe and 18-year-old Wayne Gretzky faced each other for the first time in their NHL careers.
That's crazy.
What a sentence.
The lineage is still there because there's guys in the league that played with Gretzky still. So you can Kevin Bacon it back to Gordie Howe.
Yeah. That should be a new segment on the morning skate, the 7 degrees of Gordie Howe.
Yeah, right.
That would be kind of cool.
Carolina, they signed their goalie Peter Kochetkov. 4 years, $7.5 million extension. So far this year, he's 2-2 with the 2 goals against, .914 save percentage. He had a shutout, 4 games played. So this kind of seems. Do you remember when they lost Nedeljkovic and we were like, "What the fuck are they doing?" It's kind of seemed like it worked out for him. So they knew more about that. And then you want to shit on Carolina here for a bit?
Yeah, because the Bruins played them on Black Friday, and there may not be another team in the NHL as big as whiners as Tampa, except for Carolina. It's unbelievable.
Boston,
come on. And I think it starts with Rod the Bod. As Jenkins gave me congrats, he is a fucking whiny twat. It is unfucking believable. And I don't remember him being that way as a player. I remember him being a tough, stand your ground, stick up for your teammates kind of guy. But holy fuck, he's palms up. after every.
And their fan base
whistle.
reflects it. Their fan base reflects
unbelievable. And it trickles down through the whole roster. All they do is bitch and moan. There was a play. Oh, I'm trying to remember. I think it was Aho was complaining to the ref as the puck went back the other way. I'm like, what are you doing? Back check. Drives me crazy. I hate that kind of hockey. Yeah, I feel much better.
I think we all agree about
it.
Speaking with like a similar fan base, Toronto. Jake Muzzin, he's out indefinitely due to a cervical spine injury. Muzzin last played on October 17th. He'll be reevaluated in February. TJ Brody was also placed on the IR with an oblique injury. Timetable is 2 weeks. I don't know shit about cervical spines, but that scares me.
Yeah. Jake Muzzin's got young kids. We talked about this a few weeks ago. Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if that's a wrap for him.
Hopefully he gets well soon, dude, because do you think he has a little old-time defenseman in his game?
I actually like him as a player, which is why I don't want to see him get seriously hurt.
Right.
Yeah.
Morgan Riley has been placed on long-term injured reserve, meaning a minimum of 10 games in 24 days. Michael Bunting had an all-world effort play to work the puck out of the zone versus Pittsburgh Saturday night, only be hauled down, but dished the puck to Matthews along the slot. He scored and, of course, celebrates himself like the selfish twat.
Did you see it? Did you see it? Fink, I don't know if you noticed, but I try to slip stuff in the doc, and Ken,
no, I love it. I love it.
Doesn't always read ahead.
No, I love it.
Bunting did everything possible to get the puck over to Matthews. Matthews scores and then skates to the glass like, yeah, like, fuck you, man. Like, when Pasternak gets a great goal, he points at the guy who passed to him. You know what I mean? It's like, I fucking can't stand Matthews.
Yeah.
Worst mustache in sports.
Brownie said that. Who did you say that he'd rather have Matthew Tkachuk on his team than Austin?
I would in a heartbeat. Without a question.
You guys are idiots, dude.
Without a question.
Even more Toronto, Mitch Marner, 16-game scoring streak as of last night. So what's kind of weird is, you remember when, like, everything was, like, burning up in Toronto? Like, fucking, we got to get rid of the coach. It wasn't that long ago.
No.
It gives me hope that the Rangers can figure it out.
Did you hear Mitch Marner, too, when the Devils fans started throwing shit on the ice? He literally was running to the locker room like this. He's like, they were throwing full beers. It was like, shut up, dude.
Oh, and one more thing on that. Did you hear what Lindy Ruff said about that after they asked him about it?
No.
It was a passionate fan base.
Yeah, passionate fan base, yeah.
That's the difference between new NHL and old NHL. Mitch Marner runs into the locker room screaming, they're throwing full beers, and old NHL would have been like, thanks, dude, and just would have fucking
if Mitch Marner picked one up and downed it, like that female comedian did from the heckler who threw the beer.
Oh, yeah.
That would have led every fucking sports show.
The NHL would have done everything in their power to black that out.
He would have gotten suspended, or maybe not suspended. He would have gotten his pee-pee whack for that. But
big pee-pee whack and a sponsorship from PBR.
That would have been an all-time NHL hockey clip.
Yeah, for sure. That would have been something. We talk about those moments that galvanize a team.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been the fucking best part. If they went on to make a run, imagine that part of the video.
Can you imagine
when it all turned around?
Full unopened beer. He just takes it, fucking uses his skate,
stone cold stunner.
I was just gonna say that. He was like,
he just crashes the beers together. Glass breaks.
That would have been great.
I'm glad you put this in. This is cool. I respect this, dude. Cal Clutterbuck is now the NHL all-time leader in hits. Set the record in win over Toronto. He had 9 hits in the overtime win. Set the record 3,635 hits for his career, passing Dustin Brown. The NHL has kept this stat since 2005-2006. So he's probably not actually the leader, but fucking cool, dude.
Yeah.
Sick record, dude. Like, can you imagine being the guy where, like, I used to play in the NHL and I hold the record for all-time hits? Like, that's fucking sick.
Cal Clutterbuck is one of the guys that I will save my highest compliment that I can ever say about a non-Bruins player. I'd be like, man, I would love him on the Bruins.
Yeah.
That's the highest compliment I can give another player, a non-Bruin player.
He plays the game a pretty straight up way too. Like, I hate him when he plays against the Rangers because, like, there's always a chance he's gonna hurt somebody, but, like, he's not doing it, like, illegally. Like,
he's not gonna like throw punches at Panarin, for example.
Right. But he's tough as shit, dude.
Yeah.
Tough as shit. Anaheim, up until last Wednesday. Oh, thanks, dude. Up until last Wednesday, they didn't win a single game in regulation time. They got their first regulation win when they beat the visiting Rangers 3-2, backstopped by John Gibson. I did watch this game. The Rangers dominated that game. That was this.
John Gibson's still in his head.
But you can't lose to the fucking Ducks, dude. You can't lose to the Ducks when you're supposed to be a contender. Am I right or am I wrong? Do you remember at the beginning of the year they beat the fucking Lightning in the Wild? And I'm like, dude, this might be our fucking year. You beat. Well, if you think about it, dude, like to be a Stanley Cup contender, you need to beat teams that are probably going to be in the playoffs, correct? Mm-hmm. You can't be losing to teams that aren't going to be in the playoffs. You can't.
Listen, they were out in California. They went out. The boys went out.
If that's what happened, get rid of every fucking one of them, dude. Like, or trying to win a fucking cup. Make the playoffs, make the Eastern Conference Finals once, and then all of a sudden it's a Chris fucking Kreider, Mika Zibanejad makeout show every fucking night. You turn on MSG. It's ridiculous. Thanks for putting that in, bud. So now they have 6 wins, and all but one are in OT. Just to reiterate that, huh, Brownie? And then in 20 games played, the record 6-13-1 for 13 points, which is dead last in the NHL. Again, Brownie, again. And
just
then
absolutely feeding the facts.
And here we go. The Sens are also at 13 points on the year, but they played one last game. So I might put $50 on the Senators tomorrow. Fucking ridiculous, man. You motherfucker, you Brownie. Pittsburgh. Evgeny Malkin played his 1,000th game the past weekend. He had a goal in 14 minutes of ice. Second Penguin to play 1,000 for the franchise besides Sid. The entire roster did the warm-up as a group during the warm-ups before the game. Sid is the longest tenured Penguin with 10:26. Letang's at 9:58. Murray at 9:15. Malkin's son Nikita surprised him in the room by reading the lineup card before the 1,000th game. If you've never been to a hockey game before and you walked into the rink and you saw what the Penguins were doing in warm-up, you'd be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, because that's a weird routine he's got.
Yeah,
that's not a normal routine.
They're all up, feet up in the fucking sky floor at boys. Like what?
Yeah.
So, good for him, man.
Yep.
St. Aquinas.
Ignatius.
God damn it, dude.
Wow.
Outside
swing
Chicago.
And an absolute fucking miss.
Yeah, a little bit. Outside Chicago, the hockey team was traveling back to their hotel to completing an attorney at the Culver Military Academy when they were slammed into a semi-tractor trailer. The operator was arrested on scene where he blew .13 and was followed up for up to 20 miles by concerned citizens, seeing him drive erratically. Upon impact, the bus flipped, ejecting one student and injuring 15 others. All but 2 of the students have been released from the hospital. The others should be out soon. They're very lucky kids. Scumbag.
But how great of an ending, though, that they're all okay.
Yeah, that's especially after,
after
Humboldt and what happened there. It's just,
can you imagine having
your heart drops.
I can't imagine having a son on this team. Find out everybody got hurt in this big thing, especially after the Humboldt thing. And then to find out that the bus driver was just hammered and then or the tractor trailer guy was hammered and just kept driving.
No. Right. No, you're right. I gotta say though, as a parent, I would fucking hunt this guy down.
You would.
Yeah.
And that's we probably shouldn't be predicating for that type of shit. But as a parent, if that's my kid, I'm Liam Neeson, dude.
I am fine. All right, Liam Neeson.
I have a very special set of skills.
Have you ever seen the movie Prisoners?
No.
Fink?
Is that the one with Vince Vaughn?
No, Hugh Jackman.
No, I haven't seen it.
You guys should watch it. There's he has a daughter and a neighbor has a daughter that go missing and they think it's someone and it's so disturbing. You should watch it.
All right, Brownie, I have a list of movies here that I need to watch that I've been told to watch. I'm just going to read them off really quick and let me know if you think they're good.
It's the list I gave you?
No, different list.
All right, go ahead.
School of Rock.
Absolutely. Yep. Oh, my God. Absolutely. 100%. One of the best movies of all time.
Good Will Hunting.
What? Come on,
How have you not seen that?
Reservoir Dogs.
Are you
You've never seen Reservoir Dogs?
Right now.
It might just have to go with
no, okay. Now you're just razzing us.
You're just going to get suspended.
Pulp Fiction.
You've never seen Pulp Fiction?
Kill Bill 1 and 2.
Oh, my God.
They're okay.
No, they're good.
Interstellar.
Yeah, they're good, but
Interstellar. I'm not a big Nolan guy.
Fair. Fight Club.
You haven't seen Fight Club?
You're just fucking with me now, right?
Yeah, you gotta be.
Inception.
Are you just trying to give me like an aneurysm? Is that what's happening?
The Prestige.
The what?
Oh my God.
What's the
your jaw's gonna hit the floor after that one.
What's the Prestige?
I don't know.
It's the one with 2 magicians going back and forth. I think it came out at the same time as another one. It was a very similar.
I do remember
storyline.
I never saw it.
Maverick.
Oh, with Mel Gibson.
Yep. Brownie would hate that one.
Fuck Mel Gibson.
The Big Lebowski. I've seen a couple scenes in this. I think I'd really like that movie. And then I've already seen this one, but A Knight's Tale. So I have some homework to do.
Oh my God! Out of every movie
you've seen A Knight's Tale.
You've seen A Knight's Tale.
I can't believe
TBS fucking TNT fucking filler.
It's literally
A Knight's Tale that's the one with Heath Ledger, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great movie. It's a good film.
I just can't believe you haven't seen School of Rock. Out of that whole list,
you're fucking with us.
You gotta be.
Yeah,
there's no way a man of our age and our stature at this point in life have not seen at least half of that list you read off.
So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start chipping away at these. And each podcast I come, I'll give like a little review of each.
My list that I gave you is significantly better than that. But if you haven't seen those movies, I need to revisit the list I gave you.
I got to start slow and work my way up, dude. I heard these
School
are great
of Rock
movies.
is as slow as you can start.
I named every one of these movies, and you guys are like, you need to see this. So this list was a good list.
That's a good list. Maverick, I think you can exclude from that list.
My issue is not the list. My issue is how pathetic you are.
Fair enough. Boy, it's just rain on Ked Day, huh? Motherfucker, you.
Rangers, man. It's tough time.
Cale Makar is officially the fastest defenseman in NHL history. 200 points to start his career. Achieved the threshold in 195 games played. The only defenseman to hit 200 points under 200 games. The other fastest defenders aren't too shabby of a list. Sergei Zubov, 206. Brian Leetch, 211. Phil Housley, 212. And then both Mark Howe and Bobby Orr hit 200 points in 216 games played. Add this accolade to go along with Calder, Norris, Conn Smythe, Stanley Cup, 4 seasons of the NHL. Pretty good.
If he retired right now, Hall of Famer?
Makar?
Yep.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, that's a stacked list. Still can't grow a beard, though.
But yeah, because he's 20 years old.
Yeah.
But I think he's a Hall of Famer right now. As long as he doesn't, even if he got hurt and never played again, with what he's accomplished,
it's unreal.
It's unbelievable.
The Avs also signed for Alex Galchenyuk for the remainder of the season. PTO, he signed with the AHL Colorado Eagles. Former first rounder, 3rd overall, played 643 in the NHL for Montreal, Arizona, Pittsburgh, Minnesota, Ottawa, and Toronto.
I like this story. Good for him for sticking with it.
Kid's a suitcase. He just keeps coming back, though.
Yep.
Colombian national women's hockey team had an impressive week in Kuwait City, going undefeated to win their first ever IIHF event. The tourney for teams and countries not currently competing in the IIHF Ice World Championships. For countries like Colombia, they don't currently have an ice rink. The developmental camp provides valuable on-ice experience. The Colombia team ended the tourney with a goal differential of plus 42, and 6 Colombian players were in the scoring top 10. They took gold, Kuwait silver, Luxembourg took bronze. The UAE and Ireland took 4th and 5th place, respectively.
It's a cool story.
Yeah.
There's not a single ice rink in all of Colombia. Plenty of snow, but
yeah. That's a zing. That's a brownie zing if I've ever heard.
That was a dad joke. My daughter.
Yeah, that was good.
That one.
Philadelphia practice, the toughness you preach. Head coach John Tortorella showed up this week with some scrapes and swelling to his face. What happened? This was insane. No big deal. Just got kicked in the face by one of his horses prior to going to the rink. He has 3 horses, and apparently one kicked him right in the face. He's a hockey guy. Shows right up.
What I wouldn't give to be that horse.
During the oh my God, what did he do to that horse? That poor fucking horse.
He's still running laps right now.
He's probably shooting pucks at it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. During the game versus Columbus, Philadelphia lost in overtime. Their 4th in a row, now 5th after getting pumped by the Bruins. Torts was interviewed in the game by the broadcast crew.
This was
my God.
This was Brian Boucher.
Your team gave up the first goal. Any thoughts on the first 15 minutes? We suck. We haven't forechecks. We haven't done anything as of right now. What do you want to see differently? Forecheck. Thank you. Okay.
Classic Torts interview.
They're currently the Flyers are currently in another 10 loss in a row run, which started on November 8th. Your take?
So I saw this game. I don't watch Philly play because they're horrible, right? And I saw them play the Bruins, obviously. The only thing that they seem to be good at is blocking shots and scrums after the whistle.
Yep.
That was it. The only player that stood out to me was Owen Tippett in the entire game. Kevin Hayes and I love Kevin Hayes' game, but he can't carry a team. He's not that guy. He's like a complimentary player, I think.
Great second line center.
He was invisible. I only heard his name like once or twice. You put him on the wing with Marchand and Bergeron, he'll score 50 goals. But he can't be the guy.
Yeah.
That's, and it's unfortunate because he's a local guy, solid family, the whole deal. And Philly's, like we say all the time, the NHL is better when Philly's relevant, and they aren't relevant. And they're never going to sell a tank to the Philadelphia fan base.
Yeah, but at least they're doing nail shit, dude. At least they're getting back to their identity. Maybe next year.
We'll see if Torts lasts.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough ask for him.
Yeah.
Women's hockey, USA and Canada played the third game of the rivalry series Sunday night in Climate Pledge Arena in Seattle. The U.S. squad took the game 4-2 and now has a 3-0 edge in the 7-game series. All 7 games will be played no matter the result. This was the third matchup in 5 days between the teams after with the U.S. winning 3 straight for the first time since 2019. After shootout victory in Kelowna, British Columbia on Tuesday, the first ever in the rivalry series, the U.S. squad also got the W in Kamloops, British Columbia. On Thursday by 2-1 margin. The game got chippy a few times. We got some scrums. Hilary Knight paced the U.S. with 2 goals and assists. Now gives her 3 goals, 3 assists, or 6 points in 3 games so far. She was also awarded a Golden Stick prior to a puck drop to create her record-breaking 87th point World Championship play. Savannah Harmon and Abby Roque. Yep. Did I get that?
Rock. I think it's Rock, actually.
For the U.S., while Marie-Philip Poulin and Sarah Nair scored for Canada, the teams also set attendance record for women's hockey in the U.S. as they packed in 14,551 for the contest. Previous record was in Anaheim in 2019-20 with 13,320. Knight with the another.
The Knight thing. So there's a lot of bad blood between these two squads, and it gets pretty chippy. Mm-hmm. And the Canada pulled their goalie, and Knight was out there, and the horn went off, and I would say it was maybe like a 1, 2, 3. And then she put the puck in the empty net. So while the rest of the U.S. team was down celebrating on the goalie, the entire Canadian team was on Hilary Knight. And she just skated through them like stiff arms. She looked like Marshawn Lynch. It was awesome.
You're welcome, Jenks, by the way. You're welcome.
Yeah, it was great. Just a great, great game. And former guest on the podcast, Aaron Frankel, was on the squad.
Love that.
Let's go.
Love that. Ottawa, the team that's going to probably beat the Rangers the next 2 games. And the latest example of why such a good captain, Brady Tkachuk, met with the media after Senators lost to New Jersey Saturday afternoon, had this to say. It's honest to the players for not being ready to go in the matinee, and it's on me as a captain for not having the guys ready to go. When asked about how much the responsibility lies with the head coach, I'm sick of all that negativity. It's not on one person, it's on all of us in here, and it falls on me to have us ready to play. I'm sick of the negativity, and on social media, it's not just one person, it's the group in here that has to figure it out.
That's what you want your captain to say.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. For such an ugly guy, he does a great job of captaining that team.
Better than what fucking Trouba's doing right now.
Oh, put it this way.
Trouba.
I don't see Brady Tkachuk taking a fucking shoulder from
Draisaitl. That would have been hands on sight, dude. That would have been fun to watch after a goal too.
Actually,
absolutely.
Here's the bigger question for you: would Draisaitl have done that to Brady Tkachuk?
No chance.
That's true too.
I don't see it.
No, I don't think so.
The Rangers play the Oilers like the day after Christmas, or like 2 days after Christmas. I wonder if Trouba will do anything.
See, it'd be worth watching just for that to see.
Yeah,
depends on if he gets Cole.
That dad joke, thank you, boy. More Ottawa. The team announced that they will retire the number 25 in honor of Chris Neil on February 17th. He played 15 seasons in the NHL. All of Ottawa had a stat line of 112, 138 for 250 with 2,522 PIMs in 1,026 games played. I love Chris Neil.
I think
tough motherfucker, dude. I'm okay with this.
Yeah. Okay. I was curious what you guys thought. I'm fine with it.
When I think
he's a fan favorite, he does a shitload of charity up there.
When you think Senators, who do you think? In my opinion, he's definitely within the top 3 Senators for me.
I think of 2 guys. I think of Daniel Alfredson, and I think of Wade Redden, because I'm so glad that the Bruins got Chara instead of Wade Redden.
I think of Rick Bowness and the absolute failure that he was in Ottawa.
I think
wasn't he in Ottawa when he got hit with the puck and his feet came up and he had the white socks on with his suit? Wasn't that when he was in Ottawa? Remember that?
Oh man.
Yeah. So, and one last story before you, the Hall of Fame class. Seattle, the Kraken have let Shane Wright loose. The rookie was signed to AHL Firebirds on a conditioning loan. He can spend up to 14 days in the AHL. Then they will most likely be released to Canada's World Junior team later this month, per insider Chris Johnson. He was a healthy scratch in 11 of 18 games, where he literally only played like 10 minutes one time. In 11 games in November, Seattle had gone 9-2 and is currently in second place behind Vegas with 2 games at hand. He has 4 goals in 3 games played for the Firebirds so far. Maybe that worked.
Well, if he goes here and then goes to the Canada's World Junior team, he'll play. And we've said all along, the kid needs to play. It's not going to help him playing 7 minutes a night.
Yeah.
It's
I agree.
I'm torn. I'm torn on that one because on one hand, you've got him being handled poorly because of just the way Seattle's handled him. Like, he needs more playing time, like you said. Then on the other side, Seattle is one of the biggest surprises of the season so far.
Oh, I don't fault the coach of Seattle at all.
Right. I don't fault. It's hard for me to fault the organization because if I'm the organization, I'm saying we're on a tear right now. When nobody after last season expected us to make a drop in the ocean, you know, you're our first round guy, but our team's meshing right now.
Yeah.
And if we put you in, you're not going to get the playing time you want, and you're not going to contribute that like we need you to contribute yet. So,
well, it depends. Was this Ron Francis's plan all along to wait until they could send him down and then he could go to Right to World Juniors? And if that's the case, then hats off to Ron Francis for playing, chess. Everybody's playing checkers. But if they were just hoping he was going to catch on, then they mismanaged this for the first part of the season. I don't think it'll be detrimental to him in the long run, but it just sucks because let him play hockey,
Yeah.
That's all. Hey, do you want to put the Hall of Fame in next week's podcast?
Yeah, I'm down for that.
All right, and just skip it, and then skip the dump and change here.
I like that. And
that way we're not doing a 3-hour podcast.
Brownie, thank you. Let's dump and change.
There you go, huh?
Yeah, boy.
All right, so first, Josh Allen, quarterback for the Bills, threw a few costly picks a few games ago, has been playing at his normal level since he hurt his elbow. In the greater Buffalo area, there's an online petition that had over 1,500 signatures from area moms telling him it's okay. The quote was, "Sometimes you need a mom to tell you it'll all be okay."
Buffalo's crazy, dude.
Is Buffalo not the greatest city in terms of how they interact with their sports teams?
It's unreal.
It's unfucking believable.
Yeah.
Sticking with Buffalo, the Bills game versus Cleveland was moved to Detroit due to 6 feet so far of snow that dumped on Buffalo over the weekend before Thanksgiving. And the city of good neighbors lived up to their nickname as people are joining together in snowblower armies to ensure that the players who are trapped in their homes can make their flight. I lost my play. Oh, Dawson Knox and other players shared videos showing neighbors showing up to make that they can make the flight to Detroit, which was, again, unbelievable.
What player on your team would you go shovel their shit for? You get one player.
Jason Robertson, without a doubt.
Are you talking hockey or football?
Hockey.
Oh, Bergeron.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, maybe the goalies because they probably live together.
I'd have to really think about it.
One deal.
Probably
he's gonna say no one. Oh, Aaron, I was gonna say he's gonna say no one right now.
No, Adam Fox. Oh no, dude, probably Ryan Lindgren, dude. That guy doesn't.
Oh, I'd go shovel for Ryan Lindgren.
Yeah. Actually, I take that back. Niles Lundqvist. I'd shovel him out of the snow.
Next.
R.I.P. to Gallagher. Do you guys know who Gallagher is? You're younger.
Yeah, watermelon smashing.
Yeah, watermelon smashing prop comedian. He died a few weeks ago at the age of 76 in California of a heart attack. He had multiple heart attacks, apparently. All right, so this is wild, dude. There's a Jesus Christ simulator game called I Am Jesus Christ coming out. You get to play as Jesus through his actual life from before his baptism to his crucifixion and eventually his resurrection. So far, the game's only out in beta version, but per the developers Simula M and Playway, the PC version should be released in time for, of course, Christmas. In the game, which is an open world type experience, you can heal the sick, turn water into wine, provide food for the needy, and walk on water. You also need to pray to recharge, and there's various storyline options.
So if there's a certain church releasing this game, it's a cult, right?
Oh, you think it's a church that's releasing this game?
I don't know, maybe.
It's probably Mel Gibson.
Fuck Mel Gibson.
That's
all right. So
that's two Mel Gibson references in one podcast.
So Bruce Springsteen, this story I heard on the Graham Norton show. Do you know who Graham Norton is?
Yep.
Talk show in England, and he pounds them with booze, so they all tell crazy stories. Bruce Springsteen on tour in, I think he said it was Detroit, had an off day, went by himself to the movies. While at the movies, waiting in line for popcorn, some guy with his girlfriend, some kid, recognized him and was like, "Hey, man, you Bruce Springsteen?" And this is not in the 70s. This is like within the last few years. And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, do you want to sit with me and my girlfriend so you don't have to sit by yourself in the movie? And he's like, yeah, all right. So Springsteen sat with this couple. The movie ends, and it was late, I guess. It was like 10:30, 11 o'clock. Must have been like an 8 o'clock show. They walked out, and he's like, hey, do you want to come over for something to eat? And Springsteen was like, yeah, fuck it, because they vibed. So he went with this kid back to his parents' house.
Oh, my God.
Walked in the house, and his mom was like, I don't know the kid's name. Like, hey, Jimmy, is that you? And he's like, yeah, it's me and my girlfriend.
And the fucking boss.
And Bruce Springsteen. So the mom knew who Bruce Springsteen was. Made them all scrambled eggs with bacon, and they hung out. And he said he hung out for a couple hours, and he's had the nicest time. Can you imagine? That's how you be a fucking famous person.
That's awesome.
Yeah, great fucking story.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So, all right. So back to the rest of it. So the Philadelphia Eagles linemen have come together to put out a holiday album called A Philly Christmas Special. The first song from the album dropped the other day and features Lane Johnson, Jason Kelsey, and Jordan Malata, I think, with their rendition of Christmas, Baby Please Come Home. And the album also feature a dramatic reading of The Night Before Christmas done by Eagles radio legend Merrill Leese. The album will be out on Black Friday and will benefit the Philadelphia Children's Crisis Treatment Center. Cool. These guys can actually sing. One of them is very, very good. So it was pretty fun. Pretty earlier this month, an Air Force pilot, quote, unintentionally flew a pattern in the shape of a dick pointed at a Russian naval base in Syria. Per an Air Force spokesman, we're aware of the incident and are talking with the crew to determine the details. At this time, we did not believe the crew acted inappropriately. It is a giant dick pointing right at the base. It was great. Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield are teaming up to sell some weed. About 6 weeks ago, Tyson had the idea to bring Holyfield into the fold with Tyson's Weeds Company in time for the holidays. The gummies are called Mike Bites, and they're shaped in the form of an ear missing a chunk. The tagline for the ad is, "Holy ears, get your Mike Bites." The cannabis company called Tyson 2.0 is selling the gummies in retail settings in California and Massachusetts to start.
They get marketing.
Smart. Yeah. Very smart. And the last one, the big one, per Dylan Playfair on Instagram, who plays Riley, they've released a trailer for the new season of Letterkenny. And it should be out in time for Christmas.
Yep, it's true.
Yeah.
That is, I gotta watch.
That was everything from
and to kind of bleed off that a little bit, Brownie. I was listening to our good friend of the show, Terry Ryan's podcast with former star and two-time Stanley Cup champion Brad Lukowich. Run into him a couple times here in the rinks in Dallas. Apparently, there is going to be a season 2 and a season 3 of Shoresy.
Oh, that's great.
So I messaged Terry Ryan on.
I saw that. You sent me the screenshot. Yeah,
he's been on our thing, and he said that he'd come on the pod and talk about it.
Great guy.
Yeah, I love him. What he's done after his career has been unreal.
Who's your favorite character in Letterkenny, and who's your favorite character in Shoresy?
Oh,
I'll go first. My favorite character in Letterkenny is definitely McMurray. That guy makes me laugh every single
McMurray.
time he talks, dude. And then in Shoresy, it's Shoresy.
Yeah. I mean, easy. It might be Shoresy in both.
Yeah.
I mean, because his scenes in Letterkenny are some of the most memorable.
Yeah. The shit that he says in Letterkenny is insane. Like the brain you have to formulate those sentences are insane.
My God.
Man. And now Jenkins is going to bonk me for this because he says he loves it. Every podcast is a bonk for me. But it might be Katie McMurray. My favorite character in Letterkenny.
No, wait. McMurray's wife or Katie?
No, the what's her name? Bonnie McMurray.
Bonnie McMurray. Dude. Yeah. Bonnie McMurray.
Yeah.
McMurray.
Actually, I gotta tell you, Squirrely Dan might be my low key favorite.
He's
guy.
So good.
He's so funny. I like the Hicks. The Hicks are my favorite. They're so funny.
You guys should follow the actress who plays Bonnie McMurray on Instagram because every time she posts a picture, like the first 10 comments are, "Oh my God, Bonnie McMurray." And if you get to it and you do it first, you get like fucking 50 likes on the comment. It's insane. What do you think? Who are your favorites?
I mean, like I said, I Shoresy. I'm gotta go with Shoresy.
Fair.
Letterkenny. Man, it's tough. Like Riley and Jonesy are just absolutely the biggest
comedy
nerds, and they're hilarious.
Yeah.
Like the whole first scene was the most viral thing from Letterkenny, where they're They rip the shirts off, and Wayne's just going back and forth.
You're
I mean,
Tootsie Roll fruit cup. I bet you like Taylor Swift lyrics and birthday cards.
Yeah, but that Squirrely Dan gets an honorable mention because of the she put it in my butt's cheeks, and I liked it
when they're playing catch.
Oh yeah, when she puts it in she put her finger in my buttholes, and
Dude,
I kind of like
when they're playing catch because Wayne will just like toss a fucking underhand one everywhere.
Yeah, but not only that, but they stop throwing to Dan during that whole thing,
and they completely shift back and forth.
I don't know how they keep a straight face. I would love to see the bloopers from the show.
Like, they're so fucking funny, dude.
And they're brilliant. The writing is absolutely brilliant.
Dude, I think the Preacher dude is hilarious.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the thing. You can talk about it for hours and just be like, oh well, that guy, and the fact that they pull guys from Trailer Park Boys, which is like a cult classic, Canadian show,
right?
And they pull them in.
I just got done rewatching Trailer Park Boys. That show's so fucking funny, dude.
But I've never seen Fight
Club. All right, Bruins.
Oh, I got a lot, buddy. So Adam Fox, when talking about the perfect human, Patrice Bergeron, if you think you're one step ahead, you're not. He's on the same thing. You think a passing lane is open, it's not. Obviously, he's had a Hall of Fame career and has gotten recognition, but I think he's a guy that definitely does a lot of those subtle things that come up big. Fox went on to probably say it would be an honor to pull on the spoke, be and play with him in Boston.
You're such a nerd, dude. I'm so over this.
Oh my god! Every single free agent that comes up, you figure out a way to have him on the Rangers, and then I get shit for this.
Here we go.
Did you see Patrice Bergeron of Tage Thompson before the Buffalo game?
Yeah,
the stick tap and everything.
Yeah, that was cool.
He was asking him about Bergeron played with him, his dad, back in his Providence during the lockout in Providence, but he was asking about his wife's health, who overcame cancer. He hit 1,000 points in the win over Tampa a few weeks ago. He's now the 8th active NHL player to reach 1,000 points, and all but one douche made him a congratulations video. Oh shit! Ked, take a guess. I don't have him written down. I have him, but not here. I can probably remember him though.
The 8th active NHL player to have 1,000 points.
Yep.
Jumbo?
No, he's not active.
Oh, he's not active?
No, he's just hanging around locker rooms right now.
All right, Pavelski.
He's driving Zamboni somewhere.
Yeah.
Is Pavelski on that list?
Yeah, I think Pavs was. I think
Crosby, Ovechkin, Malkin.
Malkin, out of the 8 guys, Malkin's the one douche who didn't record the video.
So I think I got 4 so far.
They didn't play him enough rubles.
Yeah, exactly.
That's probably those.
Kane was another one.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I don't remember. I had them written down somewhere, and I've lost it. But it's no big deal. And then they also had Cassidy, Montgomery, Neely, Sweeney, Chara, Tuca, Krejci, and Marchand offering their congrats. Bergeron now joins Bork, Johnny Busick, and Phil Esposito as the only Bruins to achieve 1,000 points, but only player with all his points with the Bruins. And he's 12 points behind Espo for 3rd place. Some funny quotes was Julian said you probably prevented as many points as you've gotten. And Krejci goes, I remember watching you out there with Chief back in the day, and Busick retired in 1978, which was pretty funny on the video. Taylor Hall has been moved to the 3rd line, had 2 goals tonight. He is lighting it up with Charlie Coyle and Trent Frederick before Frederick got hurt. They put the checkmates back together on the 2nd line, which has been lights out. And tonight was the first time this season that the Bruins have their entire projected lineup on the ice. They had to send Strawman through waivers because Forbort came back. First time, though. That was pretty good. They set their now 13th consecutive win at home to start the season. It's an NHL record. Everyone's back. Oh, when they were playing at Tampa Bay, I don't know if you guys saw this. Pastrnak scored, and then he stared at someone and skated right towards the glass. There was some jackass giving him the finger, so Pastrnak just stared him down. It was fucking great. Love that shit. Yeah, I'm going to skip over all this stuff. Let me ask you guys this. Hampus Lindholm, this is a Norris caliber year. No? You're rolling your eyes.
I mean, it's hard to look at the guys on this Bruins team and not think of accolades right now, because what they're doing is pretty historic.
There's no way Lindholm wins the Norris.
I don't know if he'll keep it up. He was playing with Carlo, and then they put him and McAvoy back together. I kind of like him and Carlo better together, and McAvoy with Grizzly, but That's just my own personal preference. So this was a fun thing. The Bruins alumni have announced their roster for an upcoming game this weekend to support the Warrior for Life charity. They announced their top 4 on D. Kevin Miller makes his debut on the alumni squad. He's paired with Adam McQuaid as the second pair, and the top pair is Zdeno Chara and Ray Bork with a combined 45 NHL seasons, 3,706 NHL games, and 19 All-Star selections. The combined stat line for the pair is 678, 1831 for 2509 with 3226 PIMs and 2 Stanley Cups.
You should try to go to that, dude. That sounds sick.
That'd be unreal.
I have stuff I got to do Saturday, so I can't. And then lastly, Marchand, this came out over his 13-year career. He's had 8 suspensions, 5 fines, lost 28 games, and forfeited over $1.4 million in salary. There you go.
I know it's an unpopular opinion outside of Boston. I love Marchand.
It's the type of brand of hockey you guys have, just a bunch of cowards. So,
so bitter. Good Lord.
Not surprised at all. Not surprised at all.
He got his first penalty. It took him a while, although he missed the first 10 games. So
that's fair.
If he's on any other team besides the Bruins or the Stars, he probably has like 40 suspensions and probably forfeit.
Oh my God. If he was on the Rangers, he'd be your fucking captain and you'd have his jersey.
If he was on the Stars, he'd be suspended for the rest of the season.
If he was on the Rangers, he'd be banned from the NHL.
That's true.
Beer League Roundup, Brownie. I didn't play this week, so I don't really have much for Beer League. Coming up Sunday, that'll be a lot of fun to get back on the ice. But I don't have anything.
I'm playing tomorrow night. We had a game. We won like 7-1, or we were up 7-1 in the first. I think we ended up winning 9-5. Everybody took their foot off the gas. So it was funny though. The captain, I was playing left D, and the captain's playing right wing, and I had like 3. I gave him fucking hot passes, and he whiffed on the one-timers, down low on the net. And after the game, he's like, good game, everybody, good game. And I'm like, oh. And I think he scored 1, but not for me. I'm like, well, you could have had 3. He's like, I got 2. And I'm like, oh, you could have got 3, bud. So gotta love chirping your own team. Oh, and I will talk about NU. Gwyneth Phillips, goaltender of the week with 2 shutouts in 2 games. And the captain, Alina Mueller, was player of the week with 6 points in 2 games. They went down to Nashville for the tourney. They beat Providence 4-1, and on Friday and Saturday they beat Cornell 5-1, and they won the tournament. And I will be in attendance Friday night, and hopefully be able to watch on Saturday. And I found out today that my my press pass is good for the playoffs, and I will get credentialed all the way through their run.
Honk honk! There we go.
So that's pretty cool. Very exciting.
Fair enough. Fink, you playing puck right now or no?
Yeah, you must. Have
when I can. The schedule's crazy right now. I've been to a couple sticking pucks the last few weeks. Got to give a shout out to the special group we have down here. It's one of the aforementioned movies that you spoke about earlier, but we can't talk about it because it's the first rule of it. We always get together. We found some ice time, and it was an absolute blast just to get back out there. We're just absolutely pounding beers on the bench, and people got their vapes on the bench. Like, it's just a debauchery, and there's just no rhyme or reason to it. But it's the same group. Playing at the Rika Dreams. We talked about it a little bit before. Going to be skating at the American Airlines Center where the Stars play. It's a pretty cool opportunity. You guys are definitely going to see some pictures and some videos from that because it's going to be cool. Kind of a once-in-a-lifetime kind of thing for me. So I'll be hacking it around as best I can on the ice there.
It's going to be fun. Take pics, man.
I got to skate on the old Garden Ice once, and it was awesome, and I came off the ice and clean my blades, and I saved the ice in a plastic bag.
Oh, that's cool.
And I had it in the freezer for the longest time. And a long time ago, my mom tossed it.
But I thought it was just water.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
You guys love doing that in Boston, huh? That's your thing.
What, saving bags of ice?
Yeah.
Why?
Didn't they do that when they went to Vancouver?
No, they poured water on the ice to make it home ice.
It was probably ice that went to water and then poured it on that way.
And that's science.
Maybe. You know what I do have? Actually, it's upstairs. I have it hanging on the fridge. I still have confetti in a plastic bag from their 2011 parade.
That's cool.
I love that.
And the 2 buddies I was with, shout out to Rick and Brendan, were like, what are you doing? I'm like, you're going to want this. They're like, you're fucking crazy. And they've both admitted to me in the years since, like, I should have grabbed some confetti. I'm like, You're not getting any of mine. So, there you go.
All right. Dom Moore's Heroes and Zeros.
Hey fans, this is Dominic Moore. I'm just going to take you guys through a little bit of the behind the scenes stuff here.
All right, Heroes and Zeros time. I'm just going to give you my quick ones real quick.
All right.
Hero of the week. It's Christmas season. This weekend I did a ton of different Christmas shit. I went and got a tree for my mom. It's just, there's nothing better than like getting home and just all the lights are off in the living room except for the Christmas tree. It just sets the tone. You got the candle going. Love that shit. Zero of the week. So we posted a Black Friday hockey shopping guide.
Oh, this fucking guy.
We put it on Reddit. And this guy literally went after me saying that I was doing this to get money, which, I mean, you can go through our emails, dude. That was quite literally the last thing that we did. We had a couple affiliate codes just so we could track how many like fucking sales that we, brought these companies. But that guy can suck my dick. That's all I got for that.
I thought it was great when you were like, "Who hurt you? Have a Snickers."
Yeah. That guy. So that's all.
That guy.
That's all I got. So, here on Zero for you guys.
You want to go, Fink? You want me to?
Go, because I got to figure out a zero right now.
All right, so I'm gonna do my zero first. So the Pop Warner New England Regional Board flagged East Lynn, which is right outside the city, for having two players whose physicals weren't on record, even though the paperwork was rectified within 24 hours of the coach receiving the news. The board is sending the runner-up Everett team to the national tourney, even though East Lynn beat Everett 14-6. When the local news got involved, they were told that the matter is still under investigation, but when the news reached out to Everett's coach, he informed the reporter, "I was told to make travel plans." This is U14 for 8th and 9th graders. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, what are you doing? To go for the national championship. And Everett went last year. So what the fuck? So that's my zero. My hero is a guy I used to play with, Big Mike Fuller. Great guy. Not the best player, but was out there giving it his fucking all every time. Older than all of us. He's been battling cancer for the last few years, and he's made the decision to enter hospice care. His son has organized the boys get together a skate this past Saturday at the Songus Arena up in UMass Lowell to honor Mike and his commitment to beer league as a 40-year veteran of the league that we played in. So
cool.
Shout out to Mike, great guy, and shitty that it happens, and fuck cancer. So
fuck cancer. I hope that he takes all that in when he's there.
Yeah, donate to Movember.
Yeah, man. Zero of the week. It's kind of a personal demon. The weather. Boys down here, I know you guys are probably going to be like, "Oh, be grateful," but I mean, it was almost 80 degrees today in Dallas. I'm a weather guy. I want seasons, and I know it's hard for me down here in Texas because we have two. We have hot and cold. There's really no in between. But yeah, it makes it hard to get into the Thanksgiving and Christmas spirit when it's 80 degrees outside and you're in t-shirt and shorts. I hate it. I don't want to go to a hockey game and be sweating because I'm wearing a jersey over a t-shirt. Like I should be wearing a hoodie and a jersey over it and jeans and feeling just ripe and comfy. But of course it's Texas, so it's going to dip down to the 30s or 20s by the end of the week. So we'll figure that out.
Do you think Nils is going to demand a trade because it's too hot there? Do you think he's going to be able to handle that or not?
No, he's going to be like, "Man, this is just right. I've never been happier in my life." Can you see what's happening back in New York where I was from? And hero of the week, I just got to give a shout out. I probably pumped their tires before somewhere, and I've written about them on the morning skate. But it's the ECHL organization down here, the Allen Americans. They're the feeder team for the Bellevue Senators and the Ottawa Senators this season. They've just been so fantastic to me in the group that I've got down here working with a podcast that I run down here. They've given us a dash report again this season, and they've just brought us in with open arms, basically giving us the keys to the building anytime we want to come in and do podcasts there with their players and their staff. And it's just been an unreal experience. So I got to give them a huge shout out. And if you happen to listen to this in the Texas area, especially North Texas, just check them out. It's cheap, free parking. You can't go wrong. And it's
free parking.
Yeah, that's how don't get me started on that. And I'm sure it's even worse for you guys up there going to NHL games. But I mean, Stars tickets down here are dirt cheap, even with them doing well, because this is not a hockey market right now because the Cowboys are playing. But I mean, I can get 2 tickets to a Stars game with fees for probably $30 or $40, and I'm paying $35 to park. It's unreal. So maybe that's my other zero of the week is parking for an NHL game in Dallas when I'm spending more on parking than I am on tickets.
Texas forever, dude.
Texas forever.
Hey, let me ask you this. This I was contemplating doing this as a 0/hero because I wasn't sure which category. Have you ever called 911 on someone?
Yes. Yeah.
As a joke?
No, that's a joke. Jesus Christ, dude.
No.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
No.
Kid's giving out the worst advice right now.
No, so I was behind a car today driving on it's like 2:00 in the afternoon. I was going from job to job and I was driving behind this car and it was on a 2-lane road, which is pretty well traveled, but it's kind of windy. And this guy or woman, I don't know, that was in front of me had the passenger tires go off the pavement multiple times while I was behind them. And I was like, well, maybe they were on their phone, which is not great. But you would think when your tires hit dirt, you would kind of jerk the wheel back like, oh, shit, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They barely flinched. And then they were wandering over the yellow line. And I'm like, I don't know if they were impaired or hammered. So I was following them and I called 911. I'm like, listen, because it was like 2:00 and schools were getting out. I'm like, someone's going to get killed. And the cop was like, sir, disengage pursuit. And I'm like, I'm not following him. And he goes, well, where are you now? And I go, I'm behind him. He's like, I said disengage. I'm like, bro, I'm just driving in the same direction. I'm not following him. I'm about to turn up here. He's like, please do not pursue. I'm like, Jesus Christ, Kojak. Fucking.
Yeah, I'll call you back, buddy.
But yeah, I just was curious.
Brownie's got the camo war paint on, just fucking ready to go.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought I was doing, I went back and forth. Like, I feel like I did the right thing, but I was also like, it just goes against my nature to call the cops, I guess.
Yeah.
I've only done it once when a guy barreled into a pole, like speeding through a 4-way stop or a 4-way intersection on a red light. And I was like, that guy's probably dead. Like legit. Like he blew past my old roommate and I, and I literally like, they were like, yeah, we've already gotten 5 calls about it. And I was like, all right, just want to let you know. They're like, are you hurt? I was like, nope. I was like, all right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Oh, there you go.
I accidentally called 911 one time. I was in the middle of a boat, like I don't know. It was probably October-ish, and they did like this fall boat thing up and down the Hudson for this for 2 Buns Deep, who I used to do stuff with, and it was like free drinks. It was like a boat cruise.
Yeah.
And my phone was in my pocket, and I accidentally called 911. So they called me back, and I picked up. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, they're like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I accidentally did it. And they're like, well, you're in the middle of the water, and it's October. And I'm like, well, I'm not. Yeah, don't worry about it. Like, everything's fine. So, no, never had to call 911 though.
I was just curious.
Knock on wood. Last segment before we wrap it up, 3 stars.
All right, Jim and Mike, thanks very kindly. A nice weekend for you. As always, our 3-star selectors are stars of the hockey scene wherever we go on Rogers Hometown Hockey.
Take it away, Brownie dude.
All right, so tonight's 3 stars in honor of Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield teaming up that we mentioned in Dump and Change. We decided to do the top 3 odd couple pairings in hockey and non-hockey.
That's good.
So there you go. You want to do bounce back and forth? You want to do all your non-hockey, then all your hockey? How do you want to do it?
We should do one and then the other. Let's start with hockey.
You want to do
I agree.
hockey first?
I agree because I think the non-hockey might be a little outlandish.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So my 3rd star, Claude Lemieux and Darren McCarty.
Darren McCarty?
Yeah.
Okay.
They kind of went in together with this documentary that they had going on. They were both upstage, like talking about their stories and shit. And it was just very weird to me to see that happen. So
okay,
that's my number 3 star.
All right. Well, I had Chris Draper and Claude Lemieux, so I will scratch that off.
Oh no, you can go.
No, I have extras just in case this happened. So my 3rd star is going to be Drew Doughty and Matthew Tkachuk.
Damn it, that was actually one I was going to write down.
I had a Tkachuk as my extra.
Oh, see, there you go.
Mine was actually, was it Drew Doughty? It was Tkachuk versus. Oh, mine was Tkachuk versus Brendan Lemieux. That was like another one that I had going on.
You could have Brendan Lemieux with a bunch of people. He's a fucking rat.
Yep.
Think what do you got?
I actually have another Doughty. Doughty and Kirill Kaprizov.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
they battle.
It's a fresh one.
Nice. I like it.
Freshy. Love that.
Right.
My number 2, Revo and Wilson. Right? Like,
I mean, yeah.
always wants him. Wilson's never obliged.
I was gonna say, is that? Oh, I guess it's not a rivalry. It's an odd couple. Yeah, no, that's fair.
Okay.
All right, my number 2 is. I'm looking at this. Which way I'm gonna go? My number 2 is Cam Neely and Ulf Samuelsson.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Number 2 for me is Paul Bissonnette and the Seattle Kraken mascot Bowie.
Oh yeah, there is a whole big deal there.
They are going back and forth.
That's a good one. And then my number 1 star is the New York Rangers versus the Mystery Alaska team, dude. An odd rivalry. Super
might be the only team they can beat right now.
And they barely beat them.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. My number 1, and I'm gonna have 2 honorable mentions afterwards because if we don't cover them. My number 1 is Sean Avery and Martin Brodeur.
Of course.
That's a really good one.
Yep.
My number 1, just because he's just been lights out against them. Jamie Benn versus the entire St. Louis Blues organization.
Fair.
He just seems to turn it on every single time he plays against them.
All right, so my honorable mentions, Fink, you might like this one. I had Gregory Campbell and Steve Ott.
Oh, God. You could put Ott with a lot of people, too.
Yeah, he was another fucking loser. I didn't like Ott. I had Patrice Bergeron and Alex Burrows for the biting, the finger, and the 11 cup.
Marchand and the Sedins.
Yeah, you could do that. You could say Marchand and Callahan, too, with the lick.
Yeah.
And then my last one is me and Matt Cook. I would like to fight Matt Cook.
Me and Mark Stahl.
There you go.
I had one honorable mention, and it's Vegas and the future because they don't have one.
Listen, a shout out to Hal. You could say Hal and the Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah.
Oh man, Hal and high energy Hal. Anytime I get a chance to talk about high energy Hal, I'll take it.
You put Hal and Disco on there for hockey.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. All right, non-hockey. We're gonna get to this now. So my 3rd star. Let me pull up my list. I have it on my phone. I'm going to go with Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner.
Nice one. Nice one.
I think that's a good one. So that'd be my 3rd star.
All right, so I'm going to do my cartoon one now, too.
That's
Popeye and Bluto.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
I kind of have a cartoon one going right here. It's more video game, but Chris Pratt and Mario.
Oh, yeah. People are not happy about that.
No, they are not.
Because no, they are not. What's the background there?
Chris Pratt is voicing Mario, and instead of being like, it's a me, Mario, it's like, it's me, I'm Mario. Hey, I'm Chris Pratt. Like,
okay.
It has no, hardly any accent whatsoever.
That's
well, he'd probably get in trouble if he did the accent now.
That's true. That's
a good one. My number 2 star, 11 and Papa from Stranger Things.
Ooh, yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. That's a weird fucking dynamic.
You talk about all these movies you haven't seen, and then you throw out a Stranger Things reference, which you suck me right back in.
Yeah.
Buddy.
That's what I do.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Well, sticking with TV shows and the supernatural, I went with Harry Potter and Voldemort.
Oh, that's a fucking good one, dude. That's a good one.
I was going to pull this one out of left field because I had one written down, but I'm trying to remember because I'm having a complete brain meltdown right now. We've got a poster of the movie in our room because what's up? We're bachelors that live at this house. Oh, man. John Wick versus everybody.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
I misunderstood the assignment on this one, and I initially put Taco Bell, KFC, but those just go to what
they kind of go together, but it is an odd pairing.
That's a very odd pairing to have.
Yeah, but how excited do you get when you're yeah, but how excited do you get when you see those golden lights of a Taco Bell and KFC combined restaurant? That's just a beautiful thing.
It's not bad. And then my number 1 star, guys. Yep. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to beat this.
I know I am.
Happy Gilmore and Shooter McGavin.
That's a good one.
That's a great one.
And it's a really good one.
I feel like I have a strong number 1 as well.
Okay. What do you got?
Because it's kind of skating.
Mm-hmm.
Nancy Kerrigan, Tanya Harding.
That's a fucking rivalry and a half, dude.
All right. This one's gonna ruffle some feathers. This one's gonna cause some havoc. Morgan Wallen and Good Music.
Oh my god.
I don't even know who Morgan Wallen is.
Oh, all you gotta do is follow Kid on Instagram.
Oh, is that one of your stupid country ones that you put up? Good God.
Jesus.
I had it written down the moment this was on the sheet, and I was like,
nice one.
I can't wait for this.
I think Fink wins for that alone.
I have an honorable mention that you mentioned music. Nicki Minaj and Cardi B, dude. They kind of
that's a good one.
Yeah, they hate each other.
That's a good one. All right, so my honorable mentions, I have two. The Rock and Vin Diesel, because apparently they hate each other.
Yep.
Do they?
Yep.
Yeah. That's why The Rock
Something about a
did his own
strong
thing with
bald
Jason
guy.
Statham and Fast and Furious stuff.
No shit. I didn't know that.
And who doesn't like The Rock? I blame this on Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the last one is, we've talked about him tonight already. I will fight Mel Gibson also.
Yeah.
And
that's a three-peat. That's a hat trick.
Yeah.
That's a Mel Gibson hat trick.
I would have said Mark Wahlberg, but he fucking trains for boxing, so he'd probably kick my ass.
Yeah,
but I'd do some damage, I think.
Jake Paul versus anybody he wants to fight.
That's true.
Dude, how funny was it when tonight there's a Nick Paul that plays for the Lightning?
I think so.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was like, wait, isn't that one of the fucking dummies? Like, did he buy his way onto an NHL team too? Good God.
Brownie just got on TikTok, guys. Leave him alone. He's trying.
Oh no. You're gonna be a great cook, or you're gonna get some weird videos.
I will tell you right now that my algorithm has completely changed. No more am I getting the what was it, hand boxing videos and the guy, the hockey guy. Like, I'm not getting any of that anymore because my daughter always wants to watch TikTok with me.
Mm-hmm.
So we flip through everything that's bad. So my algorithm is now entirely animal videos.
Yeah.
I mean, there are much worse things that you could have an algorithm with.
Yeah, that's why I was like, this is fine. We can watch
Yeah.
animal videos. And there are some pretty funny ones out there. So
all right, guys. Well, that's what we had really for the podcast.
oh, wait, one last thing.
We have more.
Spot talking about TikTok. I had to sign up for Twitch.
Oh, what?
Why?
Yeah, I had to sign up for Twitch in order to view the Nashville games for the Huskies.
Okay.
Oh, that's okay. That makes sense. A lot of
now, I don't
of teams are getting
understand
behind
it.
that.
It's only for like stuff that's not on TV? Am I accurate in my assessment?
I think it's turning into that.
It's kind of like it started off as basically like
Gamers.
we could do a podcast like this, live streaming it, and have our own Twitch channel. Kind of like the same thing with like video game, like the streamers. That was really what started it. And now sporting franchises in all different leagues and all different sports have caught on, and they've realized like, hey, we're not going to make people pay, for Flow TV or Hockey TV where you got to pay, $150 a month. We'll just start a Twitch stream. And 9 times out of 10,
them to do also.
Yeah, to my knowledge, yes. Yeah. I'm sure they could pay like a premium subscription, and it increases things for them and makes, like we're doing with StreamYard, we can put graphics and intros and outros, but it just makes it so much easier, like for a direct to consumer type situation.
Shout out to James Dolan. I think so. I have the MSG Go app, so I can watch the Rangers on my computer, but the smart TV and the Roku doesn't have an MSG Go app, and I think they're designing an MSG Go app so I can start watching them on my
TV. That'd be nice.
That's nice. Can't you just mirror your screen?
If I have an HDMI cable, I guess, but I don't think I have one. And if I mirror it, it's just very choppy. So I just don't do that.
Yeah.
Well, if it makes you feel better, this Twitch stream for the first 5 minutes of every period, it was a static camera aimed at center ice.
Oh.
Yep.
And then the kid who was running it came back from the concession stand and was like, and I was like,
I mean, in all fairness, that's exactly what we do on our broadcasts. Is we put it on the clock. I get on the play-by-play and I'm like, hey, grab a drink, stretch your legs, use the bathroom. We'll be back because we're on a scissor lift.
So I was watching, and they'd come through the screen, and then they go back through the screen, and I'm like, I don't hear any cheers, so I guess I'm not scoring. You know? It was the first 3 minutes of every period.
Neutral zone looked real good, guys.
Yeah. Good job on the logo. Yeah, it was
funny. That's what we got for this week's podcast. It's a long one. We covered
it was a long one. I'm glad we decided not to do the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Do you guys have anything else to think? Thanks for hopping on, buddy.
Yeah, that's all I got is just thanks for having me on here. I'm glad we were able to work it out. And anytime you guys need a third, I'm your guy.
It was fun. It was nice. I would rather have you not gang up on me with Brownie and keep it more like even keeled. But
no, that's fair. I mean, talk to your Rangers, tell them to catch up with the rest of our teams, and then we'll be on the same page.
Listen, we could have reached out and got Booth on.
No, I've never.
I would also like to
hated somebody so much that has done so much for the morning skate. His blogs are good, so like I can't even be like, this kid's fucking out because what he's doing is good work. It's just that like fuck the Devils.
Yeah.
So
I will say the Bruins have I think it's before and after Christmas. The last game before Christmas and the first game after Christmas are home and home with the Devils. So that should be fun.
That'll be good.
Oh yeah, that'll be good.
But
I will say this also before we go, because it was Thanksgiving, and I want to say I'm thankful to everyone that reads our shit, listens to this, even the fucking donkeys that tell me how much they hate me and how much I don't know hockey. Thanks for the click, you fucking losers. But
no, I'm not thanking them. They can fuck right off, dude.
We still get the click. But no, I'm thankful that I stumbled upon this whole thing, and look where we are now. You know?
We're fucking doing pretty good, dude. We're doing pretty good. We have a really good group of people helping out, sharing hockey content and just to the world. So yeah, good one, Brownie. Brownie, what do you got?
As always, God bless you, Jerome McGinley, wherever you are. When I spoke to Kenton, he told me that Iggy's up there in the old Alberta province. So Kenton just moved into a new place. Maybe I'll have to take a trip up there and sleep on his couch while I stalk Iggy. God bless you, Jerome. Please come on the podcast someday, buddy. I won't fawn over you too much, and I'll keep the camera up so you don't see anything below my waist.
So he's lying on both accounts there, Jerome. Run.
Yeah.
But thanks for tuning in, guys. We will talk to you guys next week. Take care.
Donate to Movember.